Welcome to the FA Cup Highlight Show. We're in London for two epic semi-finals. Tottenham Cup traditionalists meet Chelsea, the modern-day Cup specialists. Our second derby sees the city of Liverpool descend to North London. Everton seeking to beat their rivals in the Cup at Wembley for the first time. This is the FA Cup Highlight Show. Sit back and enjoy. The first All-London Cup final was in 1967 between Tottenham and Chelsea. Spurs won that day, but haven't tasted success since 1991, whereas the Blues have won 4 of their 6 cups this century. Matt Jackson and Martin Tyler are your commentators.
The kickoff at 6 p.m. local time hasn't pleased Chelsea. They would have liked more recovery time after this before their home leg of their Champions League semi-final against Barcelona on Wednesday. They certainly won't want extra time today. Let's confirm the team news for you. Ledley King, as you've seen, is fit to lead Spurs into this semi-final. Harry Redknapp has kept faith with his cup goalkeeper Carlo Cudicini, referring him to the Premier League #1 Brad Friedel. Cudicini, one of 3 ex-Chelsea players, along with William Gallas and Scott Parker, who's recovered from sore hamstrings. Branislav Ivanovic starts a 3-match suspension for Chelsea, but John Terry continues to play with cracked ribs, and Ashley Cole, a 6-time FA Cup winner, returns from an ankle injury, as does David Luiz. Jose Bosingwa comes in at right back, and it's Didier Drogba, for whom Wembley has been a very happy hunting ground indeed. He's up front rather than Fernando Torres. Harry Redknapp won this competition as manager of Portsmouth 4 years ago, but his team are out of sorts as far as the Premier League is concerned. Just 1 win in their last 8 games, unlike Chelsea under Di Matteo, 1 defeat in 11 in all competitions, 8 wins. Traditional colours. It was the Blues who were beaten in the Merseyside semi-final yesterday. Chelsea trying to come up with something more successful in this London derby. Parker, who had about 18 months as a Chelsea player. Lennon. Harry Redknapp saying earlier in the week, Matt, after a home defeat by Norwich, that he didn't feel he could play with both Lennon and Bale, that it was too open. Whether that was kidology or just the way he was feeling at the time. Free kick to Tottenham. And Bale to bruise up that thigh.
Might be Bosingwa's best challenge, that one. Get the knee into the fleshy part. Someone who's going to give you a bit of a run round in the afternoon.
Van der Vaart takes it. Defended by Drogba, is pretty good for a forward at that sort of thing. Walker's caught out by Kalou. Mata trying to keep pace. Has kept pace. Ball's on for Mata! There's a great pass. Maybe just a couple of inches too much for Mata on the stretch.
It was a fantastic pass. Absolutely great pass, and he just took a chance, Mata running in.
Adebayor showing some individual skills of his own. Power, pace, touch. Needs a final ball now. It'll come to Lennon. Van der Vaart off the line. John Terry was covering. Heroic contribution from the Chelsea captain. Back with Parker though. Chelsea have more defending to do here. Adebayor, who started it all off, just denied at the far post.
That was the most composure shown in the penalty area. Adebayor, very good and clever. Picks the right pass, a miss head up. Look at the good defensive position.
Here's Modric. Walker. Van der Vaart. Adebayor trying to get in. Oh, and it's gone all the way and hit the post. A real scare for Chelsea. Adebayor, the distraction. And here's Kalou. Van der Vaart with a really teasing ball here.
Oh, it's horrible for Czech because he can't commit himself to it.
Cole. They do have so much experience of big games in the Chelsea ranks. Drogba. Oh, magnificent! Wembley is his ground again. The glory here is Didier Drogba's. And of all his Wembley goals, that's by far the best.
Well, did I mention they had power? They certainly have power, but this is about a lot more than that. Great physical strength. Gallas gets himself isolated one-on-one, which is difficult. But the strength and the quality of the shot does well, because he gets in there, he's favourite. Once he takes that good touch, Gallas clawing at him. Cudicini really has not seen that at all. Will not be expected to get beaten from here with that left foot. Wow, that is an unbelievable strike.
Good atmosphere to the first half. It might even be better in the second half because the teams are attacking the end where their supporters are. So Chelsea fans will have a good look at this. A fine save by Cudicini from Juan Mata, who struck it sweetly with his left foot when it broke to him with Drogba's touch.
It's a great save because he has to move his feet quickly as well. He's expecting the shot to actually come from Drogba, who stretches for the ball. That's a fantastic save. It's a really strong left hand.
More of an outswinger from Lampard this time. David Luiz, and Cudicini's there again. Can they force it in? Oh, they're claiming, Mata's claiming it's a goal, and it's been given.
It's a foul, this. It's a foul. John Terry, watch John Terry in the replays. Comes flying in. Has to be a foul.
Wembley controversy here. Van der Vaart leads the protest. Walker's there. Spurs want Martin Atkinson to talk to Mick McDonough.
Well, I think they're arguing maybe about the ball being crossing the line, whether it did cross the line. Martin Atkinson doesn't want anything to do with it. I mean, they obviously have the headsets. But the ball's up in the air. Watch Terry. That's a foul. And that's just a foul. And the ball, well, did the ball go anywhere near crossing the line?
All those protests from Tottenham in vain. The celebrations are with Chelsea, but Modric, that brave effort. And Tottenham need gallantry beyond the call of duty, even here. But Chelsea are playing with hunger and appetite as well. They want to really make this their semi-final. Drogba taking on Walker. He's got the cross in, Sokoto, and they head it up in the air. Gallas is there. They're collected by Modric. It's a well-crafted pass for Parker. Through the middle for Adebayor. Can he go round the goalkeeper? He goes down. It's a tap-in for Gareth Bale. Martin Atkinson could give the goal. And Tottenham respond in the grand manner.
It's a great goal. It's a lovely ball, threaded. Poor defensive play from Chelsea. The two centre-halves are wide open. That was going to be a sending off for sure. Great ball from Parker. Bale following up, sticks the ball in.
Yes, it was David Luiz who was stricken really in the chase, pulled up lame, and you could say fortunately for Petr Cech the ball rolled to Gareth Bale, who rolled it into the net. Chelsea believe that the way to get through to the final is to keep on the front foot. They don't feel quite as secure defensively. Now they have been punctured by the Bale goal. They have looked dangerous when they've attacked. They're doing that at 2-0 and at 2-1. And here's Ramirez! That could be that. Being on the front foot was the right policy. A third Chelsea goal, and absolutely no doubt about this one.
Asukoto's wide with him. Must be a hint of offside. Oh no, it's the right back gets pushed right in. I did think he was beyond the centre-backs, and he certainly was. But it's, as you often see, the player on the far side of the pitch ends up playing a player onside. This time it's Walker. It's a great finish. Ball sits up beautifully just to get a bit of a foot underneath it. Surely Chelsea home and dry.
No replays when you get to the semi-final stage these days. That's been the case for several years now, since that famous Ryan Giggs goal at Villa Park for Manchester United against Arsenal. Here's Modric. Oh, Martin Atkinson. Whether he actually saw that, there was Drogba turns on. Matters offside if he plays it. Drogba realises that.
He's beaten Gallas up today.
Yeah, and Gallas is booked.
He really has dominated him physically. Isolated him very early on, got his goal from doing it. He's now got him booked. Is this handball? Don't think it is even. And it hits the point of the shoulder. Never getting those. Certainly not with the arms not even remotely outstretched, and it's, I think your shoulder, obviously you can use your shoulder as well, so very, very harsh. A tough day, Gallas.
Lampard shot. Oh my goodness! Talk about icing the cake. Frank Lampard produces an extraordinary free kick. And when we expected a tight and tense semi-final decided by the odd goal maybe, Chelsea lead by 4 goals to 1.
Well, he lines up, and it's one you expect him to be thinking, I'll put it about 20 rows back and buy myself a bit of time. Start your Barcelona preparations now, Chelsea, because you are in the FA Cup final. This ball moves an awful lot. Kudicini shouldn't be getting beat from here when he starts that side of the goal.
Here's Mata. And it's a great chance for 5, and 5 it is for Florent Malouda to rub further salt in Tottenham's wounds.
Well, once again, straight balls beyond the centre halves. I mean, they've been totally undone. It's harsh on Spurs. They've given up the last 10 minutes. Harsh on Harry, harsh on his team. Not a reflection on their season. Good finish from Malouda. Ball again just sits up nicely. Got to feel a bit for Kudicini. His day couldn't really have been much worse.
Today is the man of the match.
And it did so much hinge on a controversial second Chelsea goal. It seemed a stroke of big fortune for Roberto Di Matteo and his men. Chelsea's love affair with the new Wembley continues. The manager, who was a star player for Chelsea at the old Wembley, guides them to the FA Cup final. It is Chelsea's 4th FA Cup final in 6 seasons. They were superior to Spurs, as the scoreline shows. Final score, the second semi-final. It is Tottenham 1, Chelsea 5.
Saturday's semi pitted the 2 Merseyside giants together. Not since the 80s have Everton and Liverpool met at this famous stadium. Back then, Liverpool won 2 brilliant cup finals. But with form on Everton's side, is it time for the present-day incumbents to banish the Blues? Stuart Robson and Gary Taphouse are your commentary team.
What a roar as the 2 teams emerge. It really is an awesome sight, Wembley Stadium, on a massive occasion like this. Here are the semi-final lineups, and the build-up for Liverpool's been dominated by their goalkeeper crisis. Pepe Reina and Alexander Donny are both suspended after their recent red cards. Though third-choice keeper Brad Jones starts a Liverpool match for only the 3rd time. Hungarian Peter Galáš is on the bench after being hastily recalled from a loan spell at Hull City. Luis Suarez, Jamie Carragher and captain Steven Gerrard all return after the win at Blackburn on Tuesday. Everton are without the cup-tied Stephen Pienaar. Otherwise, it's a clean bill of health for David Moyes. Phil Neville, 3 times an FA Cup winner with Manchester United, gets the nod ahead of Tony Hibbert at right back. Nikica Jelavic leads the line. He has 5 goals in 10 appearances since his move from Rangers, including a goal in the quarter-final replay at Sunderland. This really does mean a lot to both of these clubs. The 218th Merseyside derby underway. The 5th to be held here at Wembley Stadium. One of these 2 great old rivals will be back here for the final in just 3 weeks. Now Jay Spearing. So often these big showpiece occasions can be more about the occasion than the match. We hope that doesn't apply today.
Well, Henderson out on that right-hand side, just trying to play the ball down the line for Carroll. Carroll's won 1 ball in the air, which will please Kenny Dalglish. But his side are trying to play from very deep at times, trying to play out from the back.
Gerrard. Carragher, the 2 old war horses for Liverpool. Glenn Johnson, his return from injury on Tuesday, is a huge boost. Looking for Andy Carroll. The first chance of the semi-final goes Liverpool's way. And Spearing!
Well, I've got no idea what Heitinga was trying to do here. Watch Heitinga try and play offside. He gets away from Andy Carroll. Andy Carroll's now in. It's good pace from Andy Carroll to get away from Distant. And then when he plays it back, Spearing hits it over the bar.
This is Gibson, Jelavic. Now Gay up to Cahill. Good football from Everton. Jelavic looking for Osman. Agger slid in. Jelavic trying to crash his way through. Down he goes. Free kick to Everton. Agger penalised.
Yeah, it's a strange challenge because Jelavic had lost control of the ball here. Gerrard gets a nick on it there, and Agger just steps across Jelavic. A really stupid challenge on the edge of the box.
Leighton Baines, the boyhood Liverpool supporter. Baines strikes, and it's just over. Brad Jones watched it all the way.
I'm not sure Brad Jones would have got there had it been underneath the crossbar. Can't see a lot of it. I think it's past him by the time he gets across.
Past the midway point of the first half at Wembley. Chances very much at a premium here. Jelavic. Cahill just misjudged the bounce. Oh, it's Jelavic! Liverpool 0, Everton 1. A horrible blunder at the back by Liverpool, and Nikica Jelavic scores for Everton.
Well, what a mess up that was. It's a long kick forward. First of all, Skirtle heads it onto the back of Jelavic. And it falls for Cahill, misses it. Then Agger and Carragher get mixed up, and Carragher loses his composure. It's a terrible error from Carragher. Not particularly well played from Agger either, but what a finish from Jelavic.
Johnson. Downing. Cancross with his right. Carroll! What a big chance to equalise, and he knows it, and he knows it.
Well, he won't get a much better opportunity than that. This is good play from Downing on his right foot, goes past Baines, who doesn't get tight. Neville's beaten at the far post. He's got to score. He has to score here, Andy Carroll. But a good start from Liverpool at the beginning of this second half.
Oh, what was Distan doing? It's Luis Suarez! It's 1-1 at Wembley. A howler from Distan, and he's suitably punished by Luis Suarez. One defensive error apiece, one goal apiece.
Well, he had the chance. He got to the ball first. In front of Suarez, he had the chance to clip it down the line. Watch here, Carroll heads it out wide. Could he clip it down the line? He checks back onto his right foot, and he hasn't got a particularly good right foot, and he makes a real mess of it. And Suarez, Howard started to come, then went back, and Suarez does really well. As Heitinga was coming across, he just plays it with the outside of his right boot.
Well played spearing. This is Steven Gerrard. Typical surging run from him over Suarez. Neville's header. Now Gibson. Oh, that's an unfortunate slip from Coleman. This is Andy Carroll. Chance for Liverpool!
Well, good advantage from Howard Webb. Good effort from Carroll. Coleman's, I think, is going to get a booking for deliberate handball here. Gibson plays him a pass on the wrong side, and he slips over and he just hits it with his hand. And Carroll goes past this, Dan. He should really hit the target from there. Just cuts across the ball.
Baines. Carragher's header. Cahill. Fellaini. Jelavic in behind Carragher. Oh, side netting.
Great little flick from Fellaini. And the ball's played forward here. Cahill wins the first header. Fellaini wins the second. It's a good first touch from Jelavic.
Here is a first contribution from Bellamy, away by Osman at the expense of a corner.
And there's the usual facials, the usual comments from Bellamy, but it's a great flick on from Carroll. There he's pulled back by Osman. Nearly gets into the box. Good chasing back Osman.
Well, Everton were thinking about bringing on Victor Anichebe. We believe it's now going to be Tony Hibbert coming on. With 5 minutes to go. Liverpool corner to be taken by Bellamy. Fellaini away, only as far as Skirtle. Gerrard against Coleman, who's been booked. It'll be a free kick.
And the Liverpool players, it's wrong here. They're going up to the referee to say that Coleman should be booked, but he's going for the ball. And he just catches Gerrard. Gerrard knew exactly what he was doing because he'd almost played the ball off the pitch.
There's a good position here for Bellamy. They're willing the ball in, those Liverpool fans behind this goal. Bellamy. Oh, it's in! Andy Carroll! Fourth time lucky in the match for him. He's come up trumps just when it mattered. Liverpool 2, Everton 1.
Well, it was all about the delivery. Yes, it's a good header from Andy Carroll. That's what you expect from him. But what a delivery into the box. Bellamy has made the difference.
Well, despair. Total agony. At the other end, a dance of delight. The possibility of another cup final. Here's Suarez. Oh, this time it's Maxi coming in, and somehow it's not 3.
This is brilliant play from Luis Suarez. Watch here. He's not offside because the ball wasn't touched by either of those players. He could find Andy Carroll, but he realises the run, how he sees the run of Maxi. But what a save, Tim Howard. Everton fans leaving already.
Is there one last hope for Everton? Neville. Coleman. Now the Liverpool fans are screaming for the whistle. This is Gibson. Fellaini. 3 waiting for a cross here. Will it come? Phil Neville to provide the cross. Cahill jumps, comes to Anichebe to drill it. Skirtle away, and that's it! Liverpool are through to the FA Cup final. They're one step closer to a memorable cup double. Andy Carroll, their hero, with the 87th minute winner after Jelavic had opened the scoring for Everton. They sink to their knees, but it's sheer delight for Liverpool Football Club, who were the favourites and they've come from behind to seal a place in next month's FA Cup final.
Well, they played well in the second half. They upped the tempo. They got the ball forward earlier. The front two started to link up with each other. And the goalkeeper, when it mattered, made the saves as well.
Full time at Wembley. Liverpool 2, Everton 1.
So, confirmation of the semi-final results. Liverpool and Chelsea will contest the 128th Cup final on May the 5th. That's all for now. More enduring images for the new Wembley to savour. We've seen redemption, controversy, and an old Wembley hero stamp his class on the occasion. We'll see you for the final. Bye for now.
This is the FA Cup final.
Fantastic start, Roberto Di Matteo.
For both Chelsea and Liverpool, their history echoes around this landmark venue. But who will add to their legion of honours in this beautifully poised showpiece? For the fans, it's a well-trodden path.
Liverpool have turned it round. The boy is a genius. A Wembley spectacular. A man for the big occasion again.
But come Saturday, will it be red or blue? Whose name is on the cup in 2012?
Then Gerrard! Oh, goodness me!
Coming up, we're in both camps as Liverpool and Chelsea prepare to meet for the first time in the showpiece final of English football.
We'd be delighted to be back there, and hopefully we can get our hands on the trophy again.
I think it's going to be a terrific game. Good set of players on show. Hopefully we come out on top because it'll be fantastic if we win the trophy.
Why the FA Cup has left an indelible mark on Jose Mourinho.
In the FA Cup was for me an incredible moment and something I will never forget.
We look at some of the special moments from this season's competition. It's the Culture Club versus the Crazy Gang in our final classic match. And they've done their homework in the FA Cup quiz.
Because I've seen that on telly the other day when he's getting interviewed.
From 763 teams down to 2, this season's FA Cup has once again served up the usual doses of drama, romance, and of course the odd upset. And we begin by looking back at some of the headline acts. We start with a new chapter in the history of the Cup. Wembley's 2-1 win over Ascot during the qualifying rounds became the first match streamed live on social networking site Facebook. In the first round proper, non-league Starbridge were giant killers against League Two strugglers Plymouth Argyle. AFC Tottenham striker Stephen Brown entered the record books, grabbing a 15-minute hat-trick during an astonishing 8-1 win over Bradford Park Avenue. Conference champions Fleetwood burst onto the scene with a 2-0 win over League One Wycombe. And the Trawlermen took another league scalp at Yeovil in the second round, to the delight of the travelling Cod Army. In round 3, all eyes were on Manchester as United beat rivals and cup holders City 3-2 in a match that also saw Paul Scholes come out of retirement. But the upset of the round came at the county ground where Swindon beat Premier League Wigan. Paul Benson sealing a 2-1 win for Paolo Di Canio's men.
This is the best moment in my life because I was happy for my players, for my family, for the fans, for the board. They deserve this.
The dream would end abruptly for Fleetwood with a 5-1 drubbing at the hands of neighbours Blackpool. Arguably the goal of this season's FA Cup came from Macclesfield's Arno Mendy, whose superb strike helped the Silkmen earn a 2-2 draw with Bolton. And there was a moment of pure cup romance when Thierry Henry came off the bench to mark his second debut for Arsenal with the winner against Leeds. Round 4 saw Crawley Town reprise their role as the ambitious underdog. Matt Tubbs' strike causing an upset at Hull before they fell to Stoke in the next round. Leicester's Jermaine Beckford is set to finish this season's competition as the top scorer with 6. His double shattered Swindon's dreams to set up a tie with Norwich. Strike partner David Nugent sent the Premier League Canaries crashing out. Round 6 was overshadowed by the cardiac arrest suffered by Fabrice Muamba during the match between Tottenham and Bolton. But with the midfielder recovering well, the sides united in their support for Muamba ahead of the rearranged game. Spurs won 3-1 with Louis Saha's strike, the pick of the goals. We moved to Wembley for the semi-finals where Andy Carroll's late header helped Liverpool advance at the expense of fierce rivals Everton. And in the second derby of the weekend, Chelsea saw off Tottenham 5-1 to reach their 4th final in 6 years. With 6 FA Cup wins from 6, Wembley Stadium has become a home from home for Chelsea Football Club.
It's an amazing feeling to be captain and lifting the trophy.
Lampard, never shy about shooting, and you can see why!
And it's not just the captain who relishes the big Wembley occasion.
He loves it. And that's when you call upon the big players. They really love the big occasion.
A 4th FA Cup final in 6 years, coupled with a place in the Champions League finale, is testament to the transformation in fortune following Roberto Di Matteo's appointment as interim first-team coach.
Chelsea's love affair with the new Wembley continues.
The results have changed dramatically. The players have been fantastic in responding in this positive way, and just, you know, we got 1 win under our belt and then the second one, and we just kept going, and it just increased the confidence and the belief in every individual player and in the team to be able to achieve our targets.
He shows that he cares, and the passion shows in the team meetings, on the training field when things don't go well, and he always, you know, refers back to, you know, the way he cares about this football club.
As a player, Di Matteo's cup pedigree is legendary. Victory back in 1997 ushered in a new era for the club.
And a goal! Oh, fantastic start! Roberto Di Matteo inside 45 seconds.
The 97 was important to the club in terms of starting a successful era for the football club, and being able to play in Europe the season after as well. I was lucky to be able to score so early on, and it really set us up for the game in the final against Middlesbrough.
John Terry was a 19-year-old prospect when Di Matteo last lifted the trophy for the Blues. 12 years on, Terry has continued Chelsea's romance with the competition and is on the verge of lifting the cup yet again.
Me and Robbie shared a little joke about this, and you know, he would never have sort of visioned me going on to captain Chelsea and going on to do what I've done in the game, and the same with him as a manager, and him being my manager, and being, you know, at the business end of the season in big competitions.
I think it's quite unique to be able to play for a club and then lead a club as well out into a final. But I think more about the players, you know, and the club. I'm a club's person, and I don't really think of myself. I think about, you know, the players, the supporters, and the club.
The Blues' path to Wembley began with a routine 4-0 win over Portsmouth, before West London neighbours QPR were dispatched by a penalty from Juan Mata. A frustrating 1-1 draw with Birmingham then contributed to the downfall of Andre Villas-Boas, before order was restored in the replay at St Andrews. Chelsea ran out comfortable 2-0 winners in Di Matteo's first game in charge.
I think it was crucial for us to start with the right foot and win the game and continue our experience in the FA Cup, but also for the next games and for the team to just get the belief and the confidence, and every win has just increased that confidence for us.
I was on the bench that game, but when we scored, he urged everyone to get up and celebrate, and he wanted that togetherness throughout the squad, and he understood being a player as well that the disappointments, when players are left out of the team and they're being picked. He spoke to every single player, which certainly helps, but he wanted the players on the bench to feel a part of it, even though you're not in the starting lineup.
The Blues moved into the semi-finals after beating Leicester 5-2, with the biggest cheer reserved for the £50 million man.
Torres, yes! The wait over 24 hours of playing time is over.
Finally, a 5-1 demolition of Tottenham at Wembley set up Chelsea's first ever meeting with Liverpool in the FA Cup final.
It's going to be a tough game. We played them twice this season, and they've proved a very difficult opposition to us. They've done very well against us, so we're going to face a difficult game, and hopefully, the end result this time will be different than before, and we have to be at our best though to beat Liverpool.
They've had some disappointing results of late, but just before they seem to play us, they've picked up on their form, and at the back they've looked solid as well. So I think they're more or less fully fit as well. So for them, it's a big boost the way they're playing at the moment.
However, Chelsea are aiming to win the FA Cup for the 4th time in 6 years. It's been their trophy.
You work so hard all year to be able to be successful at the end, and people don't really remember who loses the final, so we're going to try everything in our power to win the final.
It's always a great occasion getting there, but managing to win it and walking up them steps is obviously a dream as well.
In addition to another Wembley showpiece, Chelsea have also sealed a berth in the final of the Champions League, but they were denied a reunion with a special friend. A friend who guided the Blues to their maiden FA Cup success at the new Wembley.
Winning the FA Cup was for me an incredible moment and something I would never forget.
Having won domestic cups in 4 countries, Jose Mourinho is ideally qualified to identify why this competition remains one of world football's most special.
I used to say that it's a competition of the people. When I go to Italy in my first match in the Italian Cup, I had 3,000 people in the San Siro Stadium, and I was saying to that people that I played in England, Chelsea against Scunthorpe, and Stamford Bridge was sold out. People couldn't believe, and this is only possible in the FA Cup. I was speaking about this with Xabi Alonso in Real Madrid. He was in Liverpool for many years. He was saying exactly the same thing. Anfield Road completely full, completely sold out with Liverpool against a third division team. The open draw since the beginning, with the possibility of the best teams to play against the smaller teams. Every team that goes to competition, they feel is the competition. And because every supporter of every team feels that the competition belongs to them.
And in 2007, the FA Cup belonged to Jose.
When you win it, the favorite moment is the final. Is Didier Drogba scoring the last minute of the extra time. Is the moment when you are very, very tired, but you have to go step by step, all the steps into the moment you get the cup. I remember every moment of the final. The English FA Cup is an incredible competition, and people that is in love with the game, as I am, must have a special feeling because it's a competition we all know.
Still to come, would only a domestic cup double make Liverpool's season a success?
We've won a trophy already. We've got a massive opportunity to do that again, so You know, as long as we're winning medals and doing well, that's the main thing.
How Wimbledon caused one of the upsets in Cup history against Liverpool. And they're calling foul play in the Cup quiz.
Bit biased here with the Liverpool questions, isn't it?
This is where the banners hang. This is where teams write their history. It's where they tell you who they are. But when I look around here, I don't see a team with nothing to say. I see a team that's ready to make a statement.
A champion will rise. The NBA playoffs on ESPN.
The 1988 FA Cup final saw the culmination of Wimbledon's rise from the bottom of the football pyramid to a Wembley triumph against one of the world's greatest clubs. Bobby Gould's crazy gang defeated Liverpool 1-0 to leave an indelible mark on FA Cup history.
People now, you can walk down the street and someone will say, "Oh, what a great save that was."
That's Wembley. You know, it gives you with one and takes away with the other.
We didn't often like each other, some of us, but we're bound by that moment and that time and that game.
Wimbledon had developed a unique team spirit during their rise to the First Division, dubbed the Crazy Gang for their often boisterous, eccentric behaviour.
There was always things going on.
We trained the afternoon before. As I was leaving the training ground, I looked at my car and all my tyres had been let down by someone, which was a typical thing. The last day for a cup final you need to be worrying about is trying to get your tyres blown up.
The following day, the Dons arrived at Wembley as the ultimate underdogs.
We played some exceptional football. Everyone was anticipating that it was going to be an easy game for us, 4 or 5-0.
Some people that had played the game before were saying, you know, it'd be a travesty if Liverpool don't win, you know, for sake of football. And I think the only people that really thought we were going to beat Liverpool were in our dressing room.
We had obviously this well-documented tunnel incident.
When we came out, we're very, you know, come on boys, let's get out there and you know.
We're lining up there and we're looking across at them, and scared would be the wrong word. I think they were scared of us, but they realised that at that moment that we were up for it.
Wimbledon adopted their dogged and physical approach in a bid to stifle Liverpool's creativity.
We had a game plan, you know, that John Barnes was the player of the year that year, and you know, we had to stop him playing, and we doubled up Dennis Wise with the fullback to work on John and stop him performing.
I don't know if the occasion got to us or we were just too confident. Whatever it may be, we didn't perform.
10 minutes before half-time, the Dons made the breakthrough.
A big point of our play and how our success was set plays.
I'd scored the previous week against Chelsea, last game of the season, with exactly the same routine. Dennis Wise, spot on deliverer, always knew where he was going to put it. He just went over Corky's head by inches, and I got in behind him, got the flick, went in the far corner.
Now I'm thinking, right, you know, I've now got to make sure the ball doesn't go in this end, you know, because we've got the lead.
However, on the hour mark, Liverpool had a glorious opportunity to level the match through John Aldridge.
He looks, you know, he didn't look so confident. You know, he looked a bit drained all day.
Besant made history, the first goalkeeper to save a penalty in an FA Cup final.
It wasn't a bad penalty, he struck it well, he struck it towards a corner. It was a good height for me to save.
It did hurt John a lot because, you know, having been the first player to miss a penalty, it did take me a while to get over.
I've seen 2 other keepers save them at Wembley now, but I was the first.
That was the changing point because at that stage, Wimbledon were just camping out. I don't think they got out their own half in the second half.
I think everybody, I think Liverpool fans, Liverpool players, us and our fans thought this is going to be our day.
Having entered the record books with his penalty save, Besant became the first goalkeeper to lift the FA Cup.
The walk up the steps and then get at the top, and you know, for us again getting a trophy of Princess Diana, it meant an awful lot.
I always say, and it's my stock statement, that far better players than me have never scored the winning goal in a cup final. So if my career hangs on that, I scored the winning goal in an FA Cup final, I'll sell for it.
The fact that 11 years before that cup final day, we were playing in the non-league, that's what made it such a massive cup final and such a massive result.
It had been 6 long years since Liverpool last won a trophy, the 2006 FA Cup.
Gerrard! Oh!
February's League Cup success ended the drought, but it's been a campaign of contrasting fortunes for the Reds. In a season of inconsistency, their cup form has been the saviour.
Semi-final. Oh, it's in! Andy Carroll! Liverpool are through to the FA Cup final. They're one step closer to a memorable cup double.
Overjoyed that we won. Like I say, we've got another big final to look forward to. But this is what this club's all about. You know, it's steeped in history of finals and winning.
Success is stitched into the fabric of this famous club, but past glories have only increased the pressure on a new-look team.
It's a club that obviously expects to win. It's a winning mentality, and the manager drives players into that mode as well. And on the league front, we've not done too well, and we've been disappointing. But I think the big thing is, we've won a trophy already, and we've got a massive opportunity to do that again. So, as long as we're winning medals and doing well, that's the main thing.
The league title is still the one the club wants to win. We may have to wait a few more years.
A Champions League and double FA Cup winner with Liverpool, Dietmar Hamann is concerned that his former club are falling behind the very best.
It's great to win a trophy, and obviously this is something the fans want to see. They want some silverware in the cabinet, but obviously if you're not in the Champions League, you will slip further and further behind the teams who are in the Champions League.
I think we've been really unlucky in the league. If we'd probably converted the chances that we created, we could have been second or third in the league.
They have match winners, but as you've seen this season, they've not shown it often enough. They've done it in the cup competition.
So will winning the FA Cup mean a successful season?
Some players go throughout their career and not win a trophy at all. So to win two, I think, is a great achievement. A lot of us are in our first season at Liverpool, 7 or 8 new signings. So I think it's a good step. Like I say, it's a building process. It's not going to happen overnight, and I think it'll be a good start.
Liverpool's journey to Wembley began with a first Reds goal for Downing in a 5-1 win over Oldham.
For me personally, getting my first goal was good. I think it was an all-round team good performance.
Round 4 saw them host fierce rivals Manchester United at an emotionally charged Anfield.
You have to beat the best to win it, and Man United was a tough game, but I think the way we won it was extra special. I think it was 90 first minute maybe, and Dale got the winner. I think so. That was a massive day. The atmosphere was brilliant, and I think we topped off a good day with a good win.
Momentum gathered in the 5th round. A 6-1 demolition of Championship Brighton earned Liverpool a 4th successive home tie, this time against Stoke.
Stoke was a tough game. They made it hard for us. We got off to a good start with Louis' goal, and they equalised, and for large periods it looked like we were going to go to a replay, to be honest.
Downing, Gerrard, leaves it again for Downing. Is this a chance? Brilliant goal! Stuart Downing!
If they get the win in a cup competition, it was extra special, especially at Anfield as well, so I was really pleased.
Having matched that 2-1 win against Everton in the semis, it's time to return to Wembley to face Chelsea, the last side to complete the domestic cup double.
They're obviously going to be full of confidence. They're coming off a terrific goal, obviously Barcelona, and they seem to have picked up since Roberto Di Matteo's took over.
Freshness will be a big factor for Liverpool. I think this is a big advantage for Liverpool because Chelsea's been involved in a lot of very tough games, but I think one of their big strengths is going forward with the likes of Drogba, Torres, maybe coming back into form now.
It'll be a good test because Drogba was in form, and he's been a big player for Chelsea for years. Goal return, fantastic, but not only that, he's all-round player, he's a strong lad, and he's a big presence for them. But he is obviously a focal point in their team, and one we have to be wary of.
With Suarez, Gerrard, Carroll hopefully coming good now, I think they've got enough players to hurt Chelsea.
Fernando Torres, yes!
So they've got a few players playing against Liverpool who've obviously been here, Fernando and Raul, so great occasion for everyone, but I'm confident that we can do the job because we seem to rise to it at Wembley.
The occasion has been 20 years in the making, as the Reds look to seal the domestic cup double with their first FA Cup win at Wembley since 1992.
They had to wait a long time to go to Wembley. Obviously, part of it due to the rebuilding of Wembley. Obviously, Stevie played a lot of times for England, but to take Liverpool down there to an FA Cup final, I think it'll be a special occasion.
I think it's going to be a terrific game. You know, good set of players on show. I think hopefully we come out on top because it'll be fantastic. We'll win another trophy.
They had a great day out against Everton. They'll be travelling down in numbers again. You know, if they come away with a trophy, you know, there'll be some celebrations down in London and at home at Liverpool.
Finally this week, time for our Cup quiz. Question 1. Ashley Cole will be hoping to play in a record-breaking 8th FA Cup final. But can you name the 2 players he currently shares the post-war record with?
Tough one.
Vieira?
Mark Hughes?
I would have to say Giggs.
Scholes?
Roy Keane one.
Keane.
Because I've seen that on telly the other day when he's getting interviewed. Roy Keane and...
Beckham?
Keane.
Can you give me a clue what team now?
Ryan Giggs?
Giggs.
Ryan Giggs.
Ashley Cole will look to eclipse Ryan Giggs and Roy Keane, who've also played in 7 showpiece occasions. Question 2. Didier Drogba will be looking to score in his 4th consecutive final, but who's scored the most goals in FA Cup finals?
You know when your mind goes a blank.
Thierry Henry?
I think it's clue time.
Ian Rush?
Ian Rush.
Ian Rush.
Rushy.
Liverpool legend Ian Rush does indeed hold the record with 5 FA Cup final goals. Question 3. Fernando Torres will hope to win the Cup against his former employers on Saturday. But which player on Liverpool's books has won the Cup with Chelsea?
Glenn Johnson?
I think I know this one.
Grant Johnson.
Steve Clark?
Joe Cole?
Joe Cole.
Oh, Joe Cole.
Coley.
No fooling anyone. On loan but still on Liverpool's books, Joe Cole has won the Cup with Chelsea. Question 4. Liverpool's last 2 FA Cup wins came in Cardiff. But when did they last triumph at Wembley, and who did they beat?
Bit biased here with Liverpool questions, isn't it?
Early 90s.
89 beat Everton.
I haven't got a clue. I'm going to say Everton.
92.
2.
92.
That they beat.
I can remember the goal, one of the goals anyway. Michael Thomas against
Sunderland,
Sunderland?
Sunderland. Tony Norman, the goalkeeper, remember. Same end I saved the penalty.
Spot on, Dave. A 2-0 win over Sunderland gave Liverpool the Cup in 1992. And for our final question this season, which item is taken to every final but is never used?
Now this is one I know, but now don't prove me wrong.
Trick one.
The top bit.
It's a trick question.
Wow.
Copy of the trophy.
It's the
ribbons?
Losers' ribbons.
Well done to Chelsea past and present. It is the losers' ribbons that remain unused. So with no replays in the quiz, it's a 4-way tie.
I'll take that.
So 2 great clubs with huge pedigree in this competition go head-to-head in the final for the very first time. Will it be Liverpool or Chelsea who emerge victorious and lift the famous trophy at Wembley on Saturday? Enjoy the occasion, and we'll see you next season.
Fantastic start.
it round. The boy is a genius.
A Wembley spectacular. A man for the big occasion again.
Gerrard! Oh, goodness me!
Well, not the traditional blazing sunshine we come to expect on these cup final days, but the weather isn't going to dampen the spirits of these lucky fans, seeing their team, of course, at English football's showpiece final. Well, it has to warm you up. Welcome to Wembley, where two of the nation's most decorated sides go head-to-head. It is Chelsea versus Liverpool for the 131st FA Cup. Kick-off in just under an hour's time, and plenty of build-up to whet your appetites in the meantime. My name's Dave Farrer. I'll be bringing you all the build-up to today's match in the esteemed company of Tony Dorigo. Tony played for 6 clubs, including today's finalist Chelsea. He won the Championship and Charity Shield whilst at Leeds, and represented England at full international level. Some happy memories for you, Tony.
Most certainly is, and I think this stadium, the new Wembley, but the old Wembley, I actually managed to score at both ends, so that's what dreams are made of, scoring at Wembley.
Yeah, Tony's been reminding us of that pretty much all day. Here's the Chelsea team bus arriving, and an awful lot has changed at the club since you played there. They expect days like this now.
No, that's exactly right. Finishing 5th and 6th isn't good enough. What they expect is the Champions League, winning trophies, the FA Cup. That's what it's all about for Roberto Di Matteo these days.
And of course, you mentioned the Champions League final there. Today, focus FA Cup. Forget about the Champions League final.
Well, most certainly. It really is a game-to-game mission that Di Matteo has got. A lot of games in a short space of time, but it's all about momentum as well, winning games, and that's what Chelsea have been doing very recently.
And as you see the Chelsea players arriving there, you realise just how much experience there is in this squad. We can move on to Liverpool and see them arriving at the stadium as well. Plenty of experience, of course, in their side as well, but the real anomaly with them for Kenny Dalglish's side this season has been poor in the league, particularly this calendar year, but already won the League Cup and now in the FA Cup final.
You're right, but they're big spenders, so you expected a bigger push for them in the league, but on a one-off occasion they can certainly beat anyone. They have wonderful players in Suarez, a real match winner, but I don't think that formula is quite there on a regular basis.
Wanted to ask you a question as well about their Premier League defeat against Fulham in midweek, at home, of course, at Anfield. Another defeat there. A weakened side. Are you a fan of that to keep players fresh for a cup final, or are you a momentum man?
Well, I think it's so important that when you are on a winning streak, you just keep that going. But of course, the physical side of the game is so important these days. Clearly, Kenny Dalglish knows his players better than I do, but both sides lost in midweek. I can't believe that helps them. However, I'm sure their eyes are on the FA Cup.
Now, the newspapers and all the media, of course, this morning, as with every cup final day, has been full of who's going to play. Andy Carroll in the picture there was one of the headlines. We can take a look now at the Chelsea side, and probably as expected, Didier Drogba starts. Fernando Torres, formerly of Liverpool, is on the bench.
Well, I'm sure that will be a difficult decision for Roberto Di Matteo, with Torres coming back and scoring ever so well, but Didier Drogba, talk about a man for the big moment. He's done it in the semi-final here for Chelsea. Well, he's got a chance to do it again today.
Yeah, Didier Drogba, a man, of course, with an incredible goal-scoring record here at Wembley, and we can see the Liverpool fans there just preparing themselves to cheer their team on. Great atmosphere already here at Wembley, and the news there is that Craig Bellamy plays and Luis Suarez up front as well. Andy Carroll only on the bench.
Well, I think that's interesting because Craig Bellamy, certainly when he's come on for Liverpool, he really has made a difference in the games, but hasn't had much game time. He's there today, but it's Luis Suarez. He's the man I come to pay. I would pay money to see this man play because I think he's fantastic.
Goodness me, he must be good, I have to say. Great to see Jay Spearing's name on the team sheet. He's spoken. A lifetime dream to play in the FA Cup final. Now, as we've already alluded to, both today's finalists have an illustrious history in the FA Cup, and Gabriel Clark takes us through both clubs' best moments. We start with the Blues.
Current holders Chelsea are number 6 on our FA Cup roll of honour, with half a dozen wins, the majority coming in the last decade. Their recent history has seen triumphs with a roster of global stars. This is the Blues' finest era.
Yet another goal in this stadium for Didier Drogba, their leading scorer. Lampard, never shy about shooting, and you can see why. A Wembley spectacular from Frank Lampard.
The FA Cup belongs to Chelsea.
In 1970, Chelsea won the Cup at their 3rd attempt. An Ian Hutchinson equaliser earned a replay with the then mighty Leeds. David Webb bundling the ball in to win the match in injury time. There was a long wait for more success. Then in the mid-1990s, an Italian-inspired revolution transformed Chelsea. Gianfranco Zola and Roberto Di Matteo propelling the Blues to a final with Middlesbrough in 1997.
It was a great start. Was quite focused and cool on the pitch, but in that moment I lost it a little bit, and you can see it from the celebration afterwards. But it was a fantastic emotion that I felt at the time.
Eddie Newson added a second goal. The trophy was to prove a major catalyst. More FA Cup success followed in 2000. The Italian connection continued. Gianluca Vialli leading the team to victory against Aston Villa in the last final at the old Wembley.
As a manager, it was more enjoyable. I felt very sort of confident. I thought that we were going to win it, so I managed to enjoy the game and the occasion thoroughly without feeling too much pressure.
Chelsea made a triumphant return to the new Wembley in 2007. Their modern cup hero Didier Drogba scoring the winner against Manchester United. The club were now a worldwide name.
I've seen them win that trophy many times, and I really wanted to share that emotions here at the club.
And 2 years on, Florent Malouda and his teammates had another chance.
The stadium was blue, all over blue, Everton blue and Chelsea blue, and I really felt good in that game.
Louis Saha put Everton in pole position, scoring after only 25 seconds, eclipsing Di Matteo's previous best. Chelsea fought back, Drogba equalising, before Frank Lampard scored a beauty to win it. 1 year on came Chelsea's 6th FA Cup. Drogba's knack of claiming crucial Wembley goals continued. Portsmouth beaten 1-0, as Chelsea's first double was secured. They had an anthem. They had league titles. But until 1965, Liverpool Football Club hadn't once tasted FA Cup glory. Since then, they've gone on to grace the competition with some of its most memorable moments and heroic deeds. In 1965, Liverpool's now legendary boss, Bill Shankly, had transformed the club from second division minnows to league champions. The title had been won the year before, now for their first FA Cup. A tight match against Leeds was decided in extra time. Roger Hunt scored the opener. Billy Bremner equalised. But just 3 minutes later, Liverpool's Ian St John scored the winner. These first trophies under Shankly would herald the beginning of the club's greatest era. Fittingly, the last match for this great manager was to be a cup final, 1974 against Newcastle. Kevin Keegan's brace helped secure the second triumph. A moment to savour for the club's leader. Shankly had laid the foundations, and an era of even greater success would follow. Ian Rush became the club's next FA Cup hero in a golden era, the 1980s.
It was different for me in '86 because it was against Everton, the first Merseyside FA Cup final to be played. The two best teams, not in England, but I think in Europe at the time.
Rush scored 2 goals to help Liverpool overcome their rivals 3-1 and secure the club's first League and Cup double. 3 years later came an emotional reunion with Everton in the wake of the Hillsborough tragedy.
What was in the forefront of all the players' minds was the people who lost their lives watching Liverpool Football Club, and I think that gave us an extra incentive that day. There was no doubt, and no way ever were going to beat us. You know, we were 1-0 up with a minute to go, and Stuart McCall got the equaliser. But even then, you know, at no stage did I ever think we were going to lose the game. I thought we were in control of the match, and you know, it was just fate that we were going to win it. And Rushy comes on and scores 2 goals, you know, and we win the game 3-2.
Cup number 4, but Ian Rush wasn't finished there. In 1992, another final against Sunderland. No player had scored more than 4 cup final goals. Michael Thomas opened the scoring in spectacular style.
Against Sunderland, it was again something special again, because I knew that if I scored the goal, it would be another record for me, and to score 5 in the finals, it's for me, it's always there.
9 years later, at the Millennium Stadium, a new cup hero was to be born. The 2001 final, and both Arsenal and Liverpool served up a treat. Freddie Ludberg looked to have won it, but with time running out, Michael Owen burst onto the scene.
Seaman staying back on that goal line. It's Owen! It's 1-1 with 7 minutes to go. And the pace here of Michael Owen again. It's there! Michael Owen strikes again. And incredibly, Liverpool have turned it round. The boy is a genius.
In 2006, the club's 7th triumph looked a distant prospect. West Ham were leading 3-2. The match was in injury time. Cue another legendary moment.
Gerrard! Oh, goodness me! What a strike from Steven Gerrard!
It was a classic cup final goal, and Liverpool won on penalties. Cup number 7 was in the cabinet.
Some fantastic memories there, some great history from both of these sides. Will it be the same old story today? I guess we'll find out. But this event, we should always remind people on the day, Tony, is all about its history.
Oh, most certainly, and just looking through those clips there and the goals and the heroes, I remember so many of them distinctly, and I think we've all done it, haven't we? We've watched the FA Cup from early on in the day right through to the final whistle and getting that cup over. It's just wonderful to view and to be part of, and I just wonder who's going to be collecting it this afternoon.
Liverpool, of course, have the historical edge. Chelsea, though, do you see them as the team of the moment, given the form that they're in?
Well, most certainly. I think certainly since Andre Villas-Boas has left the club, Roberto Di Matteo's come in and changed it right around. The players are certainly playing for them. The wins sequence they put together and how they're charging up the league is fantastic. But I think it's the FA Cup and the Champions League. That form is just incredible. So they have to go in to this game as favourites.
Yeah, well, that young lad with his flag is certainly hoping for a Chelsea winner with a Champions League final to look forward to, and on the brink maybe of their 7th FA Cup success. The Chelsea camp is understandably a happy place. Gabriel Clark puts their latest challenge under the microscope.
With 6 FA Cup wins from 6, Wembley Stadium has become a home from home for Chelsea Football Club.
It's an amazing feeling to be captain and lifting the trophy.
Lampard. Never shy about shooting, and you can see why!
And it's not just the captain who relishes the big Wembley occasion.
He loves it. And that's when you call upon the big players. They really love the big occasion.
A 4th FA Cup final in 6 years, coupled with a place in the Champions League finale, is testament to the transformation in fortune following Roberto Di Matteo's appointment as interim first-team coach.
Chelsea
his love affair with the new Wembley continues.
The results have changed dramatically. The players have been fantastic in responding in this positive way, and just, you know, we got one win under our belt, and then the second one, and we just kept going, and it just increased the confidence and the belief in every individual player and in the team to be able to achieve our targets.
He shows that he cares, and the passion shows in the team meetings, on the training field when things don't go well, and he always, you know, refers back to, you know, the way he cares about his football club.
John Terry was a 19-year-old prospect when Di Matteo last lifted the trophy for the Blues. 12 years on, Terry has continued Chelsea's romance with the competition and is on the verge of lifting the cup yet again.
Me and Robbie shared a little joke about this, and you know, he would never have sort of visioned me going on to captain Chelsea and going on to do what I've done in the game, and the same with him as a manager, and him being my manager and being, you know, at the business end of the season in big competitions.
I think it's quite unique to be able to play for a club and then lead a club as well out into a final. But I think more about the players, you know, and the club. I'm a club's person, and I don't really think of myself. I think about, you know, the players, the supporters, and the club. It's going to be a tough game. We played them twice this season, and they've proved a very difficult opposition to us. They've done very well against us, so we're going to face a difficult game, and hopefully, you know, the end result this time will be different than before, and we have to be at our best, though, to beat Liverpool. You work so hard all year to be able to be successful at the end, and you know, people don't really remember who loses the final, so we're going to try everything in our power to win the final.
It's always a great occasion getting there, but managing to win it and walking up them steps is obviously a dream as well.
So John Terry talking there about his dreams, talking very eloquently as well. He's a divisive figure, isn't he, John Terry? Loved by many, criticised by others, but just how important is he, Tony, to Chelsea's chances today?
Well, he's one of those players, certainly, when he's on your side, you know the value of him, but he is so important. He's got that experience, that leadership skills, and above all, he's a wonderful centre-half as well.
Yeah, he certainly will just provide them with that defensive solidity, as we see the Chelsea players just going through their final warm-ups as we build up to kick-off here at Wembley, the 131st FA Cup final. There's another man who needs to have a big game as well, Tony, there, Petr Cech.
Well, there's certainly question marks over him this season, whether he will actually remain as Chelsea keeper, but recently I think his form has been extremely good. But you're right, it's on these big occasions where you can make or break your certainly career at Chelsea at this moment in time, and he does need to have a good game tonight.
Well, he's had plenty over recent months and weeks as well. Time now to turn our attention to Liverpool, bidding to win their 8th FA Cup. Gabriel Clark has the details.
It had been 6 long years since Liverpool last won a trophy, the 2006 FA Cup. February's League Cup success ended the drought, but it's been a campaign of contrasting fortunes for the Reds. In a season of inconsistency, their cup form has been the saviour.
Brilliant goal! Liverpool are through to their 23rd FA Cup semi-final.
Overjoyed that we won, and like I say, we've got another big final to look forward to. Well, this is what this club's all about, you know. It's steeped in history of, you know, finals and winning.
Success is stitched into the fabric of this famous club, but past glories have only increased the pressure on a new-look team.
It's a club that, you know, obviously expects to win. It's a winning mentality, and the manager drives players into that mode as well. And on the league front, we've not done too well, and you know, we've been disappointing. But I think the big thing is, you know, we've won a trophy already, and we've got a massive opportunity to do that again. So, you know, as long as we're winning medals and doing well, that's the main thing.
So will winning the FA Cup mean a successful season?
Some players go throughout their career and not win a trophy at all. So to win 2, I think, is a great achievement. A lot of us are in our first season at Liverpool, 7 or 8 new signings. So I think it's a good step. Like I say, it's a building process. It's not going to happen overnight, and I think it'll be a good start. It'll be a good test because Drogba's in form and he's been a big player for Chelsea for years. Goal return, fantastic. But not only that, he's all-round player, he's a strong lad, and he's a big presence for them. But he is obviously a focal point of their team and one we have to be wary of.
Fernando Torres, yes!
Obviously they've got a few players playing against Liverpool who've obviously been here, Fernando and Raul, so great occasion for everyone. But I'm confident that we can do the job because we seem to rise to it at Wembley.
The occasion has been 20 years in the making as the Reds look to seal the domestic cup double with their first FA Cup win at Wembley since 1992.
I think it's going to be a terrific game. Good set of players on show. Hopefully we come out on top because it'll be fantastic if we win the trophy.
Well, there are the Liverpool players making their way out onto the field, and Tony, that man in our pictures briefly, and indeed that one, Suarez and Gerrard, are key to their chances.
Well, I think you're exactly right, and those 2 players, if they do have a good game, that really could turn things in Liverpool's favour. But they certainly have the hoodoo over Chelsea. The recent results have gone Liverpool's way, but those 2 players will play such a big part in that.
A lot of people as well have spoken today and indeed yesterday in the build-up saying that Craig Bellamy might get a start because he can stretch the game, he can run defenders down with his energy, and he does get a start. And that's significant too, isn't it?
No, most certainly, because Craig Bellamy has so much experience. He's been used sparingly this season, which I've been a little bit surprised at because he really does have such an effect when he comes onto that pitch for Liverpool. But today, he really has to have a great game, and could he have such a big effect that they could win the cup?
And just looking at Chelsea as they make their way out as well, led of course by John Terry, and for all Liverpool's experience embodied particularly by Gerrard and people like Jamie Carragher, that's what Chelsea have in abundance, isn't it?
It's a strong squad, isn't it? Not only we're talking about a strong team, but they've got a lot of players to come into that side. But of course, in Didier Drogba, they really have such an exceptional talent up front. Well, there's some talent as well.
Yeah, plenty of talent not on the field. We may well see Fernando Torres, and we have to talk about Fernando Torres. If you were writing the script for this game, Torres would come on and score, wouldn't he, against his old club?
He most certainly would, and we've seen this season certainly some amazing games and dramas and stories throughout the year, but that would top it off. He had a terrible start to the season. He's come back, suddenly scores a hat-trick against QPR. Things are going his way, but he doesn't start.
And Didier Drogba does, and Didier Drogba has such a great record here. Luis Suarez, of course, got a chance to really impress in a cup final. And in the same way that Drogba is a big game player, he comes alive on occasions like this. You just feel Suarez is as well.
That's exactly right. He scored a hat-trick against Norwich recently. And of course, Uruguay on the big stage, the biggest stages, he's performed extremely well. We know what he can do, and he really is a game changer of a player, a wonderfully talented player. Hasn't really partnered very well with Carroll at all, hence Carroll's on the bench, but Suarez will always definitely be the star man up front.
Yeah, don't ignore the bench today, because there are a couple of big stories potentially emerging from that substitutes bench in the shape of Fernando Torres and Andy Carroll as well. But look at Didier Drogba as well. Amazing record at the new Wembley, and already walks around like he owns it. And people, of course, describe him as unplayable, and Liverpool will know that on his day he's just that.
Well, he is, and of course in the semi-final he certainly was that against Spurs. Absolutely fantastic. And he does own this place. He's comfortable here. He's been there, seen it, done it. He has scored at both ends. He's been man of the match I don't know how many times, so he's coming here again with not many years left in his career to just enjoy it and perform.
And in terms of Andy Carroll, I've already mentioned Torres potentially is an impact player from the bench. Carroll is another, a move that hasn't really gone right yet, but in the same way, scoring late, the winner in the semi-final, Carroll could make himself a folk hero today, could if he comes on.
Exactly right, but I think the big man, little man syndrome with Carroll and Suarez, you would have thought that was a match made in heaven, but it just hasn't worked out that way at all. He has come on, you're right, and recently scored 1 or 2 goals. Doesn't still look the old Andy Carroll that I remember at Newcastle, but a goal in the FA Cup final, that will go a long way to sorting that one out.
Now, you've played in front of big crowds, you've played in front of huge crowds for your country at the old Wembley and a couple of cup competitions as well. What's going through these players' minds now? They'll say they're never nervous, but they are, aren't they?
Well, they are nervous, but it's actually the big build-up to these sorts of games. They're actually more relief of getting out on the pitch, because what players know best and what they do best is play football on that beautiful turf. And now they're out there they're in their comfort zone with this crowd around them. They will absolutely be looking forward to this game and excited to get going.
Well, I guess it's a day on which you find out who the real big men are, the ones who come alive on the day. And Didier Drogba, who is Mr. New Wembley, on the brink maybe of Ian Rush's record of 5 FA Cup final goals. He is some player, Didier Drogba. He is certainly Chelsea's likeliest match winner as well today. And I guess you'd say that Luis Suarez was the man in that role for Liverpool as well. But the players going through their final warm-ups, as you could see, and a great atmosphere around the stadium as well. It's pretty much split half and half. The Chelsea fans away to our left from our wonderful position here, and the Liverpool fans away to our right. A real sea of old-fashioned red and blue for an FA Cup final. But away from the players, and Roberto Di Matteo will hope to join Kenny Dalglish, of course, as a cup final winning boss. Should he do so, he'll emulate many of the great managers, both past and present. And we caught up with the one who's called the special one, Jose Mourinho, who has fond memories of the cup and his win back in 2007.
Winning the FA Cup was for me an incredible moment and something I will never forget. I used to say that it's a competition of the people. When I go to Italy in my first match in the Italian Cup, I had 3,000 people in the San Siro Stadium, and I was saying to that people that I played in England, Chelsea against Canthorpe, and Stamford Bridge was sold out. People couldn't believe, and this is only possible in the FA Cup. I was speaking about this with Xabi Alonso in Real Madrid. He was in Liverpool for many years. He was saying exactly the same thing. Anfield Road completely full, completely sold out with Liverpool against a third division team. The open draw since the beginning, with the possibility of the best teams to play against the smaller teams. Every team that goes to competition, they feel is their competition, and because every supporter of every team feels that the competition belongs to them. When you win it, the favorite moment is the final, is Didier Drogba scoring the last minute of the extra time, is the moment when you are very, very tired, but you have to go step by step all the stairs into the moment you get the cup. I remember every moment of the final. The English FA Cup is an incredible competition, and people that is in love with the game, as I am, must have a special feeling, because it's a competition, we all know.
Well, it's always great to hear from Jose Mourinho, but a couple of questions for you, Tony, about the current manager or the interim coach, Roberto Di Matteo, and really, do you think he will get the job if he wins today, and do you think he should get the job if he wins today?
Well, I think certainly second-guessing Roman Abramovich is almost impossible. However, if he wins today, he really does go a long way towards securing that. But I think in Roman's mind, I'm not so sure he thinks exactly the same way. I think he has galvanised this side. He really has got them playing for the manager. They're showing how good they are, and I think he should get the job.
Pressure as well on Kenny Dalglish, do you think, in terms of his job potentially?
Big pressure, because I think 2 cup wins will actually glaze over what has been a really poor league campaign. So I think it is so important for Kenny Dalglish to take the FA Cup.
Well, as we've seen, Chelsea are no strangers to modern cup finals. So how did they reach today's showpiece?
The Blues' path to Wembley began with a routine 4-0 win over Portsmouth, before West London neighbours QPR were dispatched by a penalty from Juan Mata. A frustrating 1-1 draw with Birmingham then contributed to the downfall of Andre Villas-Boas, before order was restored in the replay at St Andrews. Chelsea ran out comfortable 2-0 winners in Di Matteo's first game in charge.
I think it was crucial for us to start with the right foot and win the game and continue our experience in the FA Cup, but also for the next games and for the team to just get the belief and the confidence, and every win has just increased that confidence for us.
I was on the bench that game, but when we scored, you know, he urged everyone to get up and celebrate, and he wanted that togetherness throughout the squad. And he understood, being a player as well, that, you know, the disappointments, you know, when players are left out of the team and they're being picked. You know, he spoke to every single player, which certainly helps. But he wanted the players on the bench to feel a part of it, even though you're not in the starting lineup.
The Blues moved into the semi-finals after beating Leicester 5-2, with the biggest cheer reserved for the £50 million man.
Torres, yes! The wait over 24 hours of playing time is over.
Finally, a 5-1 demolition of Tottenham at Wembley set up Chelsea's first ever meeting with Liverpool in the FA Cup final.
Well, in terms of Chelsea's road to the final, Birmingham City, Tony, certainly caused them problems, but aside from that, it was relatively trouble-free.
No, most certainly, but Birmingham City was around the time that Roberto Di Matteo came in, and that's when you're wondering, you know what, they just might lose this one. However, when they went on to win away from home after that, it has been very straightforward indeed.
And the Cup really helped to turn their season round, didn't it, as you've already alluded to there?
No, most certainly, and what it does do, it's momentum, and winning games is a lovely habit to get into, and you try and take that into your league form. Liverpool haven't been able to do it, but Chelsea have.
Yeah, no, so much talk, of course, about Chelsea's formation all the way through their poor spell and indeed their good one. Is this as good as they can be in terms of the way they set themselves up? Do you like this?
I like the system, certainly. I think we know there's one or two injury concerns, and of course Basingwa coming at right back. He's going to have a big game, but Drogba up front, he is the main man. But not to dismiss Ramirez. I think he's had a fantastic, wonderful season. He really is so important with his pace and energy on that right-hand side.
And John Obi Mikel has an important job to hold that midfield together, because we know that Frank Lampard is going to want to make forward runs from that position.
Well, that's exactly right, and of course Juan Mata, when he gets on the ball, he really can pick that pass out, but he can't do that without a solid back. And you're right, Mikel just patrolling in front of the two centre-halves, very important today.
And how important do you see the width of Basingwa, as you've said? Maybe not the greatest defensive presence, but a very good attacking one. And Ashley Cole, of course, is having a great time.
No, Ashley Cole's been tremendous, and there's some question marks earlier in the season. Has he lost his pace? Is he still as good as ever? Well, he has been absolutely tremendous, and it is important that he has a good game, but I know this sort of stage he will.
Well, you can see the chorus then of blue is the colour, but this, of course, is Liverpool's second final of 2012 after they won the League Cup. Gabriel Clark and Stuart Downing take us through their route to a second domestic cup final.
Liverpool's journey to Wembley began with a first Reds goal for Downing in a 5-1 win over Oldham.
For me personally, getting my first goal was good. I think it was an all-round team good performance.
Round 4 saw them host fierce rivals Manchester United at an emotionally charged Anfield.
You have to beat the best to win it, and Man United was a tough game, but I think the way we won it was extra special. I think it was 90 first minute maybe, and Dirk got the winner, I think. So that was a massive day. The atmosphere was brilliant, and I think we topped off a good day with a good win.
Momentum gathered in the 5th round. A 6-1 demolition of Championship Brighton earned Liverpool a 4th successive home tie, this time against Stoke.
Stoke was a tough game. They made it hard for us. We got to a good start with Louis' goal, and they equalised, and for large periods it looked like we were going to go to a replay, to be honest.
Downing, Gerrard leaves it again for Downing. Is this a chance? Brilliant goal! Stuart Downing!
To get the win in a cup competition, was extra special, especially at Anfield as well, so I was really pleased.
Having matched that 2-1 win against Everton in the semis, it's time to return to Wembley to face Chelsea, the last side to complete the domestic cup double.
Atmosphere is really starting to build, just 25 minutes away from kick-off. Now, you could argue that Liverpool were lucky in terms of home draws here, but if you beat Manchester United, you probably deserve to get to the final, don't you?
No, exactly right, and that's always a tough game. They perform particularly well when not in great form, and of course Everton in the semi-final. People certainly fancy Everton to do well. They're in a great run of form, yet they dispatched them as well.
After the emotional high of winning a Merseyside derby in the semi-final, do they have to get themselves up again, do you think? Or is it, hey, it's the FA Cup final, you should be up for it?
Get themselves up, just look at the crowd out there, get out on that pitch, savour the atmosphere, and I tell you what, they will be up for it. All those players, now the nerves are there, they just want to get on with it.
Now, you could argue, we looked at the Chelsea formation, that team pretty much picked itself. Liverpool's most certainly doesn't. There were rumours he might play three at the back, but it's Skirtle, Agger, Johnson and Enrique. And what do you make of the shape of the rest of it?
Well, I'm not so sure. Certainly Henderson playing on his right-hand side here. We've seen him really do his better work in the middle, but Liverpool have continued to play him wide, which I don't think is his best position. And Steven Gerrard, if he can get enough of the ball and support Luis Suarez up front, he will certainly cause a lot of problems. And defensively, always been very solid, Liverpool.
But there's a lot of chances, aren't there, of potential redemption in this side. Luis Suarez, in a way, you could make that point. Jordan Henderson, who's not seen as having a great season, and you mentioned Stuart Downing as well. So it's not just the man on the bench, Andy Carroll. There are plenty who'll feel they have things to prove here.
Well, you're quite right, and I think you can't ignore the actual price tag of these players as well, and they come for a lot of money. A lot of things are therefore expected of them, but they just have not gelled on a consistent basis. We know on a one-off occasion, yes, they've got the talent, but over a long season they haven't done it. However, if they do it on a stage like this to win the 2 cups, maybe they'll get a bit longer next season to prove themselves.
Yeah, just imagine the impact it would have, say, on Jordan Henderson's footballing career if he scores the winner in an FA Cup final for Liverpool. Things can change in this game, and on this special day, really in the blink of an eye. Now, the Cup, though, isn't just, of course, about the finalists. The highs and lows of this great competition started many moons ago now, it seems. Back in August 2011, here's Gabriel again with some of those golden moments.
From 763 teams down to 2, this season's FA Cup has once again served up the usual doses of drama, romance, and, of course, the odd upset. We start with a new chapter in the history of the Cup. Wembley's 2-1 win over Ascot during the qualifying rounds became the first match streamed live on social networking site Facebook. In the first round proper, non-league Stourbridge were giant killers against League 2 strugglers Plymouth Argyle. AFC Tottenham striker Stephen Brown entered the record books, grabbing a 15-minute hat-trick during an astonishing 8-1 win over Bradford Park Avenue. Conference champions Fleetwood burst onto the scene with a 2-0 win over League 1 Wycombe. And the Trawlermen took another league scalp at Yeovil in the second round, to the delight of the travelling Cod Army. In round 3, all eyes were on Manchester as United beat rivals and cup holders City 3-2 in a match that also saw Paul Scholes come out of retirement. But the upset of the round came at the county ground where Swindon beat Premier League Wigan, Paul Benson sealing a 2-1 win for Paolo Di Canio's men. The dream would end abruptly for Fleetwood with a 5-1 drubbing at the hands of neighbours Blackpool. Arguably the goal of this season's FA Cup came from Macclesfield's Arno Mendy, whose superb strike helped the Silkmen earn a 2-2 draw with Bolton. And there was a moment of pure cup romance when Thierry Henry came off the bench to mark his second debut for Arsenal with the winner against Leeds. Round 4 saw Crawley Town reprise their role as the ambitious underdog, Matt Tubbs' strike causing an upset at Hull before they fell to Stoke in the next round. Leicester's Jermaine Beckford is set to finish this season's competition as the top scorer with 6. His double shattered Swindon's dreams to set up a tie with Norwich. Strike partner David Nugent sent the Premier League Canaries crashing out. Round 6 was overshadowed by the cardiac arrest suffered by Fabrice Muamba during the match between Tottenham and Bolton. But with the midfielder recovering well, the sides united in their support for Muamba ahead of the rearranged game. Spurs won 3-1 with Louis Saha's strike, the pick of the goals. We moved to Wembley for the semi-finals where Andy Carroll's late header helped Liverpool advance at the expense of fierce rivals Everton. And in the second derby of the weekend, Chelsea saw off Tottenham 5-1 to reach their 4th final in 6 years.
Well, we're having a real treat here at Wembley Stadium. No matter which club you support, very, very special moments. You'll never walk alone. And those Liverpool scarves and the flags behind us held high and waved. And it really is absolutely sensational, Tony. I was going to ask you about your favourite moments of this year's FA Cup, but this is maybe one of them.
Oh, the goose pimples are going down my back as we speak. It's just incredible, the passion you can sense from the Liverpool supporters. You just want to join in with them. It's going to be an absolute wonderful occasion, most certainly.
Yeah, just sit back wherever you're watching around the world and soak it up. You do not see too many more special things than this in the sporting world. You really don't. Well, Tony, I suppose in terms of memories on the field, would it be whatever happens today, of course, potentially, but maybe Thierry Henry as well?
Well, I think you're right against my old side, Leeds United, and I've wanted them to do ever so well. However, when the master, the legend that is Thierry Henry, came on and scored that goal, it was just a wonderful football moment of a hero coming back. Is he as good as he always was? And he just stroked that ball home. That was the magic for me at the FA Cup.
It's interesting from yourself as an ex-player, and the romance that surrounds this competition. There'll be tears, of course, in people's eyes watching that around the world, and as you said, goose pimples as well. But does that affect the players? I mean, it affects you now as an ex-player, but are you aware of the romance when you're playing?
No, and I think what's so important is it's the build-up, not to get caught up in the romance, in what's going on around you. It's a game. Perform at your best. Yes, they'll be itching to get out there, but it is business as usual for those players.
And save the romance for the trophies on the top of the television and all the memories afterwards, right?
Exactly. Look back on it fondly, but at the time, it really is all about business. Getting at them, performing at your best. Do not let the occasion get to you.
Well, we're going to find out if anyone does, of course. Wasn't that a great picture as well of Wembley Stadium? We're just about ready, and we dropped into both teams' respective training grounds to assess those final thoughts ahead of today's big match.
Nobody will ever underestimate Chelsea, the run that they're on, and but I wouldn't know if it was confident or what, but certainly no arrogance, and it's no disrespectful towards Chelsea. We've got a huge deal of respect for Chelsea Football Club and what they've done.
He's got a tremendous record as a manager, and he's already got a trophy under his belt for this season, and it's a tough job at Liverpool. You know, it's a big club with a big tradition, and there's high expectations at that club.
They've got great players, Chelsea. They've had a great side for a long time now, always been competing for trophies, so it's going to be a tough game.
I think it'll boil down to the small details on the day. You get to the big decisions, you get to that little bit of stroke of luck, because I don't think there's much in the teams. I think you've got two good sides, and I think it's a 50-50 game at the weekend.
Everybody wants to be part of it tomorrow. You know, I'm sure that all the players want to play tomorrow, and as I said, it's going to be difficult to make decisions for the ones that start.
I don't think we'll get any injuries, apart from the long-term ones in Lucas and Charlie Adam for the match on Saturday. So, in a way, it's made it a little bit more difficult that everybody's fit.
It's always a difficult decision when I have to leave players out, not just the two strikers. You know, we have a lot of competition in midfield as well, and it's a difficult decision. But I think we all have to be happy and pleased that we've got two strikers at the moment that are both in good form.
We certainly got a taste of success winning the Carling Cup, and that'll certainly help the younger players in the squad, and everyone really, because, you know, winning, it breeds confidence, and it gives you that taste of success, and you want more, and that's what we want on Saturday. We want to lift that cup.
We always had difficult games against Liverpool. They are a good side, a very good team with some excellent players in their squad. So it's going to be an interesting game, and certainly a difficult game because it's a one-off as well, final. So, you know, we'll have to be very, very good on the day.
It's a fantastic day out for everybody. It's a great reward for the efforts and the commitment and the respect we paid to the competition by the teams we fielded, and we think we deserve to be there, and we're happy to be there.
You know, it's fantastic for the club, the supporters, you know, the manager, the players, everyone going down there and giving the supporters something to shout about, and, you know, trips to Wembley, that's something that we haven't had for a few years, so it's something to look forward to, and hopefully we get the win.
And hopefully we can win and bring a trophy home, which is will be great for our club, the supporters, the players, because, you know, you work so hard all season for exactly these reasons, to be able to be successful at the end of it.
Fantastic start, Roberto Di Matteo. Liverpool have turned it round. The boy is a genius. A Wembley spectacular. The man for the big occasion again. Gerrard! Oh, goodness me!
It is Chelsea against Liverpool. It is the 131st FA Cup final, and it is very nearly upon us. We're round about 15 minutes away from kick-off. We've brought you all of the atmosphere, and this is part of that atmosphere. We have dancers in silver jumpsuits, and we have Hard Five, who are a band from the southwest of London. Very, very popular in these parts. They even have a place, I can exclusively reveal, on Tony DeRigo's listening device, shall we say.
You're quite right. They're on my iPod. I've had 2 albums. I'm quite enjoying this.
Tony, unfortunately, is just having a bit of a dance where we're sitting as well. It's all getting a little embarrassing, but we are looking forward to what should be a tremendous game. Red and blue, of course, and as they go through their final part of their act, and the dancers have done brilliantly, actually, unfurl these flags in the middle of the pitch. Who do you fancy? That's the final question. It's a really difficult one to call, isn't it?
No, most certainly. Both sides have their own match winners. I just think the form is with Chelsea, but it's only going to be the odd goal in it, and I do think that we'll have a story to be told after this game. Could it be Torres coming on just to nick that winner? That's what I think. What's
intriguing, as we've already touched on, is there are so many potential match winners, so many big game players. Steven Gerrard, who's done it in cup finals before and Champions League finals. Chelsea, of course, have Drogba and Torres on the bench too, and that's what makes it intriguing. Which one of them will be the match winner?
No, that's exactly right. There's so many that could be, but also let's not forget the defenders. I mean, what we don't want to see is a mistake that loses the cup for someone. I'd like to see someone go and grab the cup with a win, with a great goal, and I think on the players that Liverpool and Chelsea have got, that's what we're going to see.
And you really can't overemphasize the enormity of this occasion. The whole country stops, and we know that most of the world stops as well to watch these two go into battle today. Chelsea against Liverpool for the FA Cup. And as I said, it is imminent. It's not too long away, and it's been fascinating to see just how the atmosphere has built slowly but surely, and now the stadium is absolutely packed. Of course, we have a big tradition on a FA Cup final day that goes back for years and years. We have the FA Cup final hymn, which will be sung by Mary Jess Leveland, and of course by the whole of this crowd as well. And of course, we're not going to miss a beat of Abide With Me. Fabrice Muamba, great to see him here, is a guest of honour today at the FA Cup final, and it is just wonderful to see him here briefly, Tony.
No, most certainly, and it's wonderful to see the football world come together and really supporting Fabrice Muamba.
Yeah, and wait for this round of applause. All around the stadium for Fabrice Muamba. It doesn't matter, it really doesn't, who you support, but everyone in the football world supporting him, of course, after, well, he suffered something so dreadful and has come back from the brink and is here and hopefully on the way back to playing as well. One day maybe in an FA Cup final. Now, the next voices you'll hear will be those of our commentary team, Stuart Robson and Martin Tyler. And we hope you enjoyed myself and Tony's build-up too. But before all of that, of course, we have Abide With Me and the traditional cup final hymn right now.
Abide
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you to Mary Jess Lieberland. Again. Then Gerrard! Oh, goodness me!
The hallowed turf of Wembley Stadium, familiar territory for Chelsea and Liverpool, vying for the oldest trophy in world football, the FA Cup final, live on SBS 1 and in HD. A sea of blue and red has descended on the English capital for this great occasion, the first ever meeting in an FA Cup final between these two giants of the game. And since the rebirth of the new Wembley, the Blues have made the Cup final their own, claiming the fabled trophy in 2007, 09 and 2010. Liverpool have already tasted success at Wembley this season when they defeated Cardiff City in the League Cup final.
About the whole week, of course, you know, we're coming up now to Liverpool, Chelsea. Tell us about it, what it means.
It's ridiculous, because when we were, that was 86, Everton were the second best team in the country. Well, actually, we were both the best team in the country, you know, so it was neck and neck all season. Who's going to win the league? Who's going to win the cup? So all season you were under the spotlight, and it was too much. It was too much. In the end, you wouldn't go out. You couldn't go out, because for everybody that said, "Ah, Craig, mate, we love you, Craig. Come home, come and meet me, Mum. Come and have a cup of tea." You know, you'd walk another 2 steps down the street, and somebody say, "I hate you. You're a you know, profanities. I hate you." And neither guy have you met or person have you met, but they're just so, they have to say something. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. So it was too much. You turn the television on, you read the newspaper, you know, and in the end we won the league and we won the double. So, and arguably it was the best Liverpool team of all time, or any team of all time. And other people say that, not just me. Sure. I mean, like I say, when you're there, you can't see it.
I've got a picture here. There's a certain long-haired, fairly curly, with shaggy-haired youngster here, scoring, I think it was the second goal.
Yep.
Tell us memories of that.
When I was in that body of the curly-haired, you know, bloke there, you were there and you're looking up, and you're looking up, and you're thinking, it can't be that easy. And I remember saying, the ball came across from Jan Molby and it squirted in between 3 or 4 legs or 5 legs, and Dalglish tried to backheel it and he missed it. And I thought, oh, it can't be that easy. You know, and I remember people say, you know, when you're in the zone, that everything slows down and you're thinking, hang on a sec, it's Wembley, right? There's the ball, I'm here, I'm onside, it's going to bounce and pop up. And I saw the keeper was off his line, and he is, right? I saw the keeper, and I'm thinking, he's off his line, he's off middle. And I thought, it can't be that easy. And then I calmly thought, well, I may as well do it then. So I've just, you know, put my foot on it, and it's gone in. And then the place erupted, and then people jumping all over me. And I remember then, I've done it. So that's very cool. And I've never seen that angle, so yeah. Well, Fozzie, you know, as they say, they always said, the older players, the FA Cup will be a blur, you know, and you won't remember anything. And they're not wrong. And I just think that the hype before it almost gets to such a crescendo level that you kind of have to block it out then. And to be honest with you, it is a bit of a blur, you know. Because don't forget, you're also, you know, the nerves are what make you really, you know, good. It's the adrenaline that you're storing up. So, you know, I didn't know this was in the shed. You know, clearly my actual FA Cup shirt I auctioned years ago for, you know, for the Hillsborough disaster, raise money. But I found this jacket, so there's a find.
Bide with me, after which Stuart Robson and Martin Tyler will be your match commentators for the 2012 final.
So on March the 17th this year, the football family across the globe were united in their support for Fabrice Muamba after he suffered a cardiac arrest during Bolton Wanderers FA Cup 6th round tie against Tottenham Hotspur. The FA would like to thank all of the medical staff who assisted Fabrice at White Hart Lane that evening, and for the excellent care and attention of the London Chest Hospital staff. And we are delighted that Fabrice and his partner Shauna are special guests of the FA, and we wish him, of course, all the best as he continues on the road to a full recovery and full health. There he is on the big screen. Of course, lovely to have Fabrice and his girlfriend here. Thank you again to all of the people that helped his recovery. And so now, in keeping with tradition, we will now sing the FA Cup hymn, Abide With Me, the words which you will see on the giant screen. And we will be led by the talented young Mary Jess Lieberland, who will be accompanied by the band of the Blues and Royals. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you to Mary Jess Lieberland.
A fabulous rendition of the traditional FA Cup hymn, Abide With Me, as the players are in the tunnel. Always nervous moments before such a big occasion. Steven Gerrard, multiple cup winner John Terry, will not play in the Champions League final, but he certainly will be captaining Chelsea for this FA Cup final. Time now to cross to our match commentators at Wembley, Martin Tyler and Stuart Robson.
Yeah, we're looking forward to a fantastic game. The rivalry is intense here. Two former captains of England, John Terry, Steven Gerrard leading out the sides. I think it's going to be an excellent game between two teams that need to win this FA Cup final.
Well, it's a big day for the two managers as well. Roberto Di Matteo, interim head coach Kenny Dalglish, who's been through this before, of course, but a long time ago. Often the Wembley finalists have to contend with May, Saturday sunshine and the onset of summer. Not the case today. There's more a feel of winter, but there is a feel of great anticipation. Chelsea, the last winners at the old Wembley in the year 2000, have become the dominant force at this wonderful new stadium. This is the sixth final here. Chelsea appearing now in 4 of them. They've won the other 3. Liverpool hadn't played here at all until February when they lifted the League Cup. Now they have the chance to replicate their own domestic cup double of 11 years ago, when they, like this year, beat a club from the 2nd tier in the League Cup climax and a London club in the FA Cup final. Then it was Arsenal.
Well, what a result that was against Arsenal as well. They came from 1 goal down, 2 late goals. They scored then. And there's an air of expectancy amongst the Liverpool fans on their way down to the ground today.
Jimmy Armfield is the guest of honour. Former England captain, much-loved football man, who captained Blackpool as well, a one-club playing career, over 600 games for Blackpool. Jimmy is 76 now, and he's known to the younger generation here as a revered radio broadcaster, a role he has retained after overcoming throat cancer. Hammers with Steven Gerrard and Liverpool. Iconic captains. John Terry, Mr. Chelsea, will now take the presentation party, including the chairman of the FA there, David Bernstein, who's had a busy few days with the appointment of a new England head coach in Roy Hodgson, one of whose jobs is to reunite John Terry and Rio Ferdinand. And that's a story we'll hear more of in the days ahead. Liverpool really had the edge over Chelsea in recent times. They've won the last 4 meetings between the two clubs, including knocking the Blues out of the League Cup on their way to winning it. Now Chelsea stand in their way of a Liverpool domestic cup double. Many of those Chelsea players have winners' medals, some of them 3. That's what it's all about, and it remains such a gripping knockout competition, watched all around the world. Before the action, it is time for the national anthem. Team news for you. The big call for Roberto Di Matteo was Drogba or Torres up front. He's gone for the Wembley specialist rather than the former Liverpool man. It is the side which swamped Spurs here in the semi-final, with one exception. David Luiz damaged a hamstring in that game and hasn't played since, but Branislav Ivanovic, who was suspended then, is available now. He fills the gap.
There are 3 key players for Chelsea today. Mikel must make sure he gets the better of Steven Gerrard when the Liverpool man breaks forward. Ramirez must give Chelsea energy to break when they win possession. And Drogba must hold up play, threaten when balls are crossed into the box, and make runs behind Liverpool's centre-halves.
For Liverpool, a couple of survivors from their last winning team in 2006. Pepe Reina, who saved 3 penalties in the shootout against West Ham, and Steven Gerrard, who scored twice in the most thrilling final of recent times. No Andy Carroll, who struck the winner in the semi-final, with Kenny Dalglish going with just one out-and-out striker in Luis Suarez, with support from 2 wide men in Stuart Downing and Craig Bellamy.
The relationship between Gerrard and Suarez is key to Liverpool's success today. Given an attacking midfield role, Gerrard has licence to break forward at every opportunity, while Suarez has the individual brilliance to cause Chelsea problems. Henderson and Spearman will need to be disciplined in their holding roles to allow Johnson and Enrique to link up with Downing and Bellamy.
Drogba has made this a second home. And because of that, Fernando Torres not happy, as you can imagine, with not starting. He's found some better form recently, but Andy Carroll seems to have accepted his role from the bench a little more easily. So we're ready. By a remarkable coincidence, the clubs were scheduled to meet today in the Premier League. rearranged league game takes place at Anfield on Tuesday, so they're going to see plenty of each other. A dream come true for referee Phil Dowd, is still regarded as the ultimate honour. So it is the Champions League finalists who kick off against the League Cup winners for the FA Cup here at the new Wembley. Branislav Ivanovic. John Terry is still playing with damaged ribs. They are on the mend, but he's been through the pain barrier a few times recently. Towards Drogba, Lampard making a supporting run, and Drogba trying his luck, which has been good here very early on.
Well, it's a good diagonal ball from Ivanovic. Liverpool dropped quite deep then. Allowed Didier Drogba a free header. Lampard breaking forward from midfield. A little bit too optimistic there from Didier Drogba. One thing about Liverpool, it looks as though Bellamy's going to start on the right-hand side and Downing on the left, which was what we thought.
Roberto Di Matteo scored inside the first minute in his 1997 FA Cup final. Chelsea beat Middlesbrough 2-0. He also scored the winner in the last final in the old stadium, 2000. Chelsea played on Wednesday night, Liverpool on Tuesday night in the rearranged league matches caused by them being involved in the semi-final. The semi-final much closer to the final this year than often has been the case in the past. And Chelsea played on a heavy pitch, their own pitch at Stamford Bridge, and lost to Newcastle, which has given them a disappointing tinge to their league performances. Liverpool quite definitely disappointed, underachieved. They've only won 13 league games this season. They've won 11 cup ties. So I suppose it's not the greatest accolade to be called a cup team. Liverpool used to be the league team, the European successful side. Times have changed. It's matter. Ashley Cole is looking, believe it or not, for a 7th winners' medal. Way out on his own in that respect. All time, this is the 131st staging of the FA Cup final.
Chelsea, they've started well. Because there's only one up front, Suarez. When Chelsea centre-halves get the ball, they can't really put pressure high up the pitch. And Chelsea to build up their attack slowly.
Chelsea started quite slowly against the Spurs in the semi-final, but finished off with a sensational victory, although it was tinged with controversy. One of the goals clearly didn't cross the line at a crucial time. Glenn Johnson got the winning goal for Liverpool against his former club in the Premier League meeting at Stamford Bridge in November.
A very good switch of play, didn't it? When he cut inside and hit with his left foot. He's a much better player when he's in attacking areas. So is the Chelsea left-back, so they'll be up against each other, Johnson and Ashley Cole.
Skirtle and Agger in the middle of the Liverpool defence, which means another great Liverpool character that we haven't mentioned, Jamie Carragher, is only amongst the substitutes. Skirtle. Know so much about each other. In less than 8 years, they've played 31 times. It's a combination of Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup. There was a League Cup final between the two.
Quite often it's been Liverpool that have played counter-attacking football against Chelsea. And Chelsea at their best under Mourinho. They've got some good results. Liverpool sitting deep and trying to catch Chelsea on the break. So that's what they're going to try and do again today.
It's always interesting to see where Steven Gerrard is placed and where he chooses to go. from a recent win at Norwich when Suarez, who was on the ball there, got a hat-trick. Gerrard supported him as a midfield player, really almost off the front, but he's starting a little deeper here, allowing, I think, the wide men, Downing and Bellamy, to give Suarez more support further up the field. But he'll pick his moments, Gerrard. Incidentally, he needs one Liverpool goal for 150 for the club. Be quite a way to do it, to score the goal in that respect that will win the FA Cup. Spearing. It's a little tentative, as you might expect him for the most experienced of players. This is such a massive event.
He's had a good first season, Liverpool. Enrique, particularly the first part of it, was one of the success stories of Kenny Dalglish's summer transfer buys. Better defending player since he's been at Liverpool than he was at Newcastle.
Really now a little bit of mix of position by Liverpool early on. Henderson went out to the right. Bellamy is on the ball here, came in to a more central role. He, of course, could play in just behind Suarez, or indeed up alongside him, but he's heading back out to the right-hand side at the moment. Spearing. Dropped it nicely and well taken by Glenn Johnson. Down he goes, referee Dowd doesn't acknowledge any foul. Mata. Mikel has got back in favour since Roberto Di Matteo took over.
One or two players like Kalou that was really out the picture. Olivier Bias. He's come back in. He's done quite well. Solomon Kalou playing out on that left-hand side.
Drogba forcing his way in front of Skirtle and gliding on to Kalou. Drogba taking over, put it back in for Kalou, just trying to slide it through there. But Liverpool closed the gap in the nick of time, but the ricochet finds Kalou offside.
Ashley Cole pressing the ball high up the field, not allowing Liverpool to play out. Kalou was standing in an offside position. His previous run forward, Didier Drogba tried to get him in. I think he would have been offside had the ball got through to him on that occasion as well.
Liverpool's 14th FA Cup final. They've won it 7 times. If Chelsea beat them today, it would be their 7th success. And John Terry could become the first captain to hold the cup aloft 4 times for one club in the entire history of the FA Cup. Would be something for the record books.
An argument between Agger and Enrique there. Agger wanted Enrique to stay in his space rather than go towards the ball. He realised the ball was going to be played down the side.
Basingwa. And he was lucky it got to Ashley Cole and made it into a pass in the end. Liverpool, apart from winning the League Cup they're a bit lucky to do so against a side from the Championship, Cardiff City. Penalty shootout in the end. They had a prestigious semi-final win of their own against Everton after going 1-0 down. Reina was suspended from that game, as was the second choice goalkeeper, Alexander Donny, allowing Australian Brad Jones to get back into the limelight briefly. He's here today, but Papa's third choice, and of course not on the team sheet in that respect.
First couple of kicks from Petr going out of play, just over the head of Kenny Dalglish. Suarez there, and the ball was played up to him. I thought it was a foul by John Terry. Wrapped his foot around the front of Suarez. Ball was chest high.
Gerrard. It's a nervy ball back by Downing. Mikel. Lampard. Just allowing Johnson to get a foot in. Chelsea with some senior citizens, it's a fine line between having the experience for an occasion such as this and being deemed too old. Lampard and Drogba come into that category. Here's Bellamy. He's no spring chicken himself. Little too eager to get down the outside.
I think the one thing he won't beat Ashley Cole for is pace. He is quick, Bellamy, but so is Ashley Cole. If Bellamy is playing out on that right-hand side, the threat he will pose is when Ashley Cole goes forward and then Liverpool break quickly.
Mata for Ramirez. Gets away from Jose Enrique. First chance is Chelsea's. First goal is Chelsea's and Ramirez. In the 11th minute.
Well, that's what he's been doing so well, Ramirez. Talked about it beforehand, his counter-attacking ability. One Mata does really well here, getting himself turned. Then he just plays the ball. It's an excellent ball. Enrique sells himself. Then he can't get back. Agger can't get across. Pepe Reina thinks it's going to the far corner. And he hits it hard. And he gets a hand on it, Pepe Reina. But he's got such energy, such pace for Ramirez. And that goal came out of nothing, just by Mata getting turned on the halfway line and playing the ball forward.
Well, the last two FA Cup winners have been coached by an Italian, and Chelsea take a step to making it 3 in a row and putting Roberto Di Matteo's name on that list of men who've won it as a player and as a manager.
It's going to make Liverpool play at a higher tempo. They started the game off slowly, trying to counter-attack. Now they've got a chance.
Enrique. Suarez. Gerrard trying to burst through. Here's Mata. Interception by Bellamy, allowing Henderson to intervene.
Liverpool supporters won't thank me for saying, but I think it's exactly what the game needed. Suddenly you see the pace picked up. Now Liverpool got to chase the game.
Gerrard. Johnson. Merseyside team looking to hit back straight away. Jose Enrique. Downing working hard to try and get a cross in, but unsuccessfully. There's a counter-attack on for Chelsea again. And Gerrard came back and got the ball. Phil Dowd acknowledging that it was bordering on the rash. Decision they're favouring the Liverpool skipper. Downing is man of the match in the League Cup final here. Suarez. Johnson turning Drogba, and it's a difficult ball for Ivanovic. And Bellamy had the shot. Ivanovic was really struggling. Then Johnson did so well on that far side. And Liverpool stung, very nearly retaliating with an equaliser.
Well, it's a great bit of play by Glenn Johnson down the right-hand side. Puts it into a dangerous area. There's nothing Ivanovic could have done about the header. He had to get some sort of block on it, and then he got the second block in from Bellamy's shot. Good response from Liverpool. It was Didier Drogba that was in the left-back position up against Glenn Johnson on that occasion. He was skinned.
In only 3 of the last 18 FA Cup finals have both teams scored. One of them was, of course, when Liverpool fought back and they seemingly beaten. They went 2-0 down to West Ham. Eventually triumphed on penalties in that thriller in Cardiff's Millennium Stadium in 2006.
I saw Chelsea come back against Everton. Louis Saha scored a very early goal.
And as you pointed out right at the start, Stuart, of course Liverpool won the Cup in 2001 when they were seemingly played off the pitch by Arsenal, and Michael Owen turned it around in the closing minutes. So Liverpool supporters won't be writing this off yet, and we'll certainly counsel that point of view. Wasingwa. Downing wins it back. Suarez seeing check off his line. Now that would have been one for the cup final annals. He was in his own half, Luis Suarez.
Well, he did so against Norwich at Carrow Road a little while ago. It's a great strike that day. That one wasn't.
Mata. Just a thought on the goal, Stuart. Jose Enrique culpable in the first place, and then Pepe Reina. It wasn't the best for the two Spaniards, was it?
It certainly wasn't. Enrique needed just to drop off. He tried to go towards the ball, and it allowed Ramirez to go past him far too easily.
Here's Kalou. And the dangerous Wembley man, Didier Drogba. Ramirez, who's already scored today. No one was running in, and had someone been running in, maybe Reina wouldn't have done that.
I actually think Pepe Reina, what he was trying to do was to give Ramirez the far post so that he could anticipate where the shot was going to come in, because everything said that Ramirez should have hit it into the far post, but he didn't. He just went for power, and Pepe Reina started to go and then couldn't get his hand up quickly enough to block the shot. Good defensive play from Enrique or Reina.
Agger. Skirtle. To continue that theme of Liverpool being behind here, behind in the semi-final to Everton, behind in the League Cup final. See Cardiff City, Skirtle got an equaliser then. Put out by Terry. Dalglish himself has a fantastic record against Chelsea, representing Liverpool as player and manager. Downing, away by Terry, only as far as Agger. Mikel, how deep Drogba is. And that was Lampard's attempted ball forward. He was fortunate then that Craig Bellamy slipped. Cole. She won't play in the Champions League final. So, on the court on the tallying up of the yellow cards. Kalou. Lampard. And of course, John Terry won't be there either after his red card in Barcelona.
I think John Terry could actually be one of Chelsea's best attacking players here, because every time they switch the ball out to him from this side of the field, it's not going to happen at the moment. When Ashley Cole goes forward, Bellamy's going all the way back with him. Suarez comes across to Ivanovic, and as soon as they switch it to Terry, he can come out 30, 40 yards with the ball.
Gerrard. Spearing. Steven Gerrard has come through the ranks at Liverpool Football Club. There was a time when Gerrard looked as though he was going to leave to go to Chelsea. In the end, he spurned the advances. Not a foul by Ramirez, but Phil Dowd says play on. Gerrard's not happy. Mikel. Here's Kalou, with Cole outside him. Oh, and Lampard take it through Skirtle in the end.
I actually think he was trying to take a touch one side of the defender, Skirtle, and go the other side of him. It's a great break from Chelsea. Good football. It all came about because Gerrard was brought down on this side of the field and then gave up on it, and it meant that Liverpool were outnumbered in midfield.
Kalou. Wholly committed challenge by Skirtle. Let's go back 2 years to the last last time Chelsea did beat Liverpool. It was a result that helped them win the title. And Carlo Ancelotti, the league title that is. I don't think Liverpool were too unhappy about the defeat because it stopped their great rivals Manchester United winning the league. Basingwa. Drogba. Last time the clubs met in the FA Cup was in the semi-final. Liverpool won it on the way to their overall triumph in 2006. This is the 10th time they've met each other in this competition. 4 Liverpool victories to Chelsea's 5.
She's unhappy with the pass that he got from Jay Spearing. The problem that Liverpool have got, and they've got Henderson and Spearing in that central midfield area, they do lack that little bit of creativity.
Drogba getting behind Skirtle. So 1-0 to Chelsea. Just over 20 minutes gone.
Very difficult for Liverpool to play a ball from back to front because Suarez has been tightly marked. He's up against 2 centre-halves. Bellamy doesn't look as though he's going to get in behind Cole. Downing doesn't look as though he's going to get in behind Basingwa. So they're having to play a very patient game here. The pass is square and backwards. Now comes the forward pass.
It's a longer ball from Gerrard. Downing pursues and keeps in. Enrique, that has gone out though for a throw.
I think Stuart Downing's made a very nervy start to the game, as Enrique, and here comes the goal as well. He strikes through the ball, Ramirez. You can see that Reina starts to go. His body position's all wrong. Hits him on the left hand. He just can't keep it out. But his energy, his pace will cause Liverpool problems.
So it's the boy from Benfica, the boy from Brazil. It's given Chelsea the early advantage here. Pepe Reina talking quite openly in the build-up to the final, saying he hasn't had a good season. And I think that will only be another moment that he won't look back at fondly.
Once again, the ball forward wasn't a good one from Skirtle. Suarez has made a good run in behind Ivanovic. He will play straighter. I think if Liverpool are going to play with just Suarez up front, they need to press the ball higher up the field, so they're planning around Suarez, winning the ball back in these sort of areas, just inside Chelsea's half, and then Suarez will come into play more. At the moment, he's a little bit isolated.
Very busy season for Chelsea. This is their 58th game, all told. And more meaningful ones to come. Kalou. Let's open up for him. And, for a fraction of a second, as though he was going to come up with a Ricky Villa moment then.
Certainly was.
Solo goal.
Glenn Johnson allows him to come inside, but you only let somebody come inside if there's another midfield player or a centre-half coming to close the ball down, but they didn't. They didn't see the run of Kalou. He just ran into the box, and I think it was, in the end, Agger that just about got the challenge in.
Drogba. Feeling in the Chelsea camp is that Drogba, obviously favourite to start this game, that will start the Champions League final as well, and Torres will probably start the 2 league games in between.
I think Drogba's got the better deal, don't you?
Yeah, maybe he's earned the better deal. Whether he'll have another deal with Chelsea seems unlikely. compared to Fernando Torres, he has been finding a little bit more the sort of form that the Liverpool fans in the stadium would recognise from his time with them. The hat-trick against Queen's Park Rangers last weekend certainly helped. Downing, Spearing. Gerrard, who takes so much responsibility, so has to just help keep the right shape for Kenny Dalglish. There's been a certain amount of confidence in their build-up play.
The fans are getting very frustrated with the way they're passing it too much, they think.
Here's Agger striding forward with a couple of options outside him, one of whom is Jose Enrique. Back for Daniel Agger again. So all the effort went into reaching the ball, and there was none left for the crossing of it from the Dane. Lampard. Here's Drogba. Kalou. Not sure that Drogba's pass was aimed for Kalou, with Ramirez running through the centre. In fact, Drogba apologising to Ramirez that he didn't find him.
Well, when it does come to Kalou, you're quite right. Didier Drogba's trying to hit this with a bit of power. Kalou gets it under control. Could he reverse the ball back into the run of Ramirez? Maybe so. It wasn't a particularly good effort from Kalou. That's what frustrates some of the Chelsea fans about Kallou's final end product. The final ball hasn't always been the best in his time at Chelsea.
Another who's found favour with Roberto Di Matteo when he was out of favour under Andre Villas-Boas. Mata, who's played pretty much the majority of the games for Chelsea, forcing a weak clearance from Agger. Kalou, stopped by Jordan Henderson. Gerrard, Suarez knew that Downing was waiting behind him. Jose Enrique on the overlap. That's there before Basingua. And loses his way, and then Ramirez gives it straight to Suarez, who just bounces off Lampard. No foul.
I think Lampard's been watching Suarez, because what he tries to do in and around the box, whereas he's always tried to nutmeg players, go straight through them. He does it really cleverly. Lampard saw it coming. He's got his body in the way.
This time it's Ivanovic who gets the better of the Uruguayan. Ramirez. Drogba. Ramirez again. It wasn't an easy kick for Reina, having to reach for it. Wedged forward by Lampard, chased by Drogba. Can't keep it in this time.
I've seen so many of those passes here at Wembley in the past. Lampard just lifting balls forward to Didier Drogba, who pulls between the centre half and full back.
It was a bit over-ambitious from Henderson.
So Henderson's gone to the right-hand side, and Bellamy's now playing behind the main striker, which means Gerrard has to go a little bit deeper. Gerrard's not doing a particularly good defensive job at the moment.
Mikel. It's a fair way out, but Frank Lampard's never been shy of shooting.
He's got good technique. He hits through the back of the ball. Looks like it dip and swerve.
They came to see so far. Long and not easy journey down. Even harder getting back with the later kickoff. It would have been worse when the FA Cup started. The first final in London, 1872, 140 years ago, kicked off at 11 o'clock in the morning to avoid a clash with the Oxford-Cambridge boat race. Has been a flexibility. where I think the FA Cup final has suffered is that it's no longer standalone at the end of the season. I do hope the authorities have another think about that. There was one Premier League game earlier today, and there's apart from Chelsea and Liverpool, a full set of the rest tomorrow. With Blackburn against Wigan, a big relegation game on Monday. All these things are taking up some of the publicity which would normally be reserved for the FA Cup final.
Once again, I think Liverpool too slow with their build-up. Got to play at a higher tempo. They've got to play the game further up. If it's easy at the moment for Chelsea to see the runs, they can get good shape. Not being undone by Liverpool at all at the moment.
But here's Gerrard, and while he's there, there's hope, and there's a good hour to play still. Goal coming in the 11th minute from Ramirez for Chelsea. Spearing.
Well, it looks a bad pass from Spearing, but Gerrard started to make the run. Lampard went with him, and as Spearing put his head down to play the forward pass, Gerrard turned away from it and started to come back towards the ball. He's got problems at the moment, Dalglish. His side aren't playing well.
This side are doing pretty much what he's asked of them. And they performed as though rejuvenated since he took over from Andre Villas-Boas, who I should say was promoted because, of course, he was the assistant for the young head coach from Portugal. Kalou. Away by Aga, collected by Mikel. Ramirez. Hasn't been a game of stops and starts, and great credit to Phil Dowd for that, but Ramirez again with the speed off the mark that led to the goal against Jose Enrique.
He just nicks this one round the corner. Enrique a little bit late. He was making sure he got the foul. It was a poor challenge from Enrique. It's a difficult first 30 minutes here.
Chelsea are not lacking in the set-piece department, either in the delivery with either the right foot of Lampard or the left foot of Mata, and the aerial power of Drogba, Terry, Ivanovic. Kalou's in there as well. Referee Dowd is ready. In by Mata. Maybe Liverpool can counter-attack here. Chelsea streaming back. And Lampard gets in the way and gets the throw.
I think Lampard's done a good defensive job so far. He's made a couple of forward runs, but he's seen the runs of Gerrard when he's been up against him. He's closed the ball down when Henderson's been on it and won the ball back off of him. That's an expansive game that he plays at the moment. It's very effective, Frank Lampard.
Ramirez. Very confident, you can understand why. Mata, Ashley Cole joining in. Hasn't scored for 2 years. Turn that drought then, but the pass by Lampard. Drogba couldn't power away. Good work done in that respect defensively by Downing.
What space Ashley Cole had. As Bellamy's gone into a different position, Henderson was tucked in as well, and as soon as the ball was played to Ashley Cole, there's lots of space out there for him to attack.
Deciding to wind up for a longer version of the throw in towards Drogba.
You described that quite well. Longer, long.
Not very long. Ashley Cole losing his balance, losing the ball. Henderson quickly on the scene. Johnson.
There's 4 passes that have got nowhere at Liverpool because they haven't got a forward outlet.
Has been said about their form, particularly at home, or lack of it, that they do play too many passes in their own half. Don't get up the field quick enough, often enough. They've also been pretty unlucky in the league in terms of shots that have struck the frame of the goal. Maybe they've had the luck in the cup competitions that have deserted them in the Premier League.
I think we did a game together against Tottenham at home where it ended up 0-0, where they just didn't play. They kept on passing. They had probably 60-70% of possession, but they didn't go anywhere with their passing.
Here's Johnson trying to give the lie to that, and he's fouled.
So he looks the biggest threat at the moment, Glenn Johnson. He's got a good cross into the box. He's cut inside a couple of times. Here he's getting away from Kalou. Going across Kalou. Winning the free kick.
Likely to being the first choice right back in the European Championships, though we wait the judgment of a new head coach and Roy Hodgson in that respect. Well, this does present an opportunity for Liverpool. 10 minutes to go to half-time to try and level the count. Taken by Gerrard. Skirtle gets a good head to it. So the ball might have gone out. Certainly a flag raised on the far side. Was it offside? Maybe it was.
Skirtle was in an offside position. As he comes around the back, he does really well to get it back into the danger area, Skirtle, but he was offside.
Yeah,
good decision
offside.
by the assistant referee. Great leap from Skirtle, keeping it in play though. Much improved player, I think, this year. Skirtle.
Gerrard. Spearing. Get it forward to Suarez. Miscalculation by Ivanovic. And Mikel went in there in a manner to certainly catch the eye of the referee. First job is to check out how Gerrard is.
Well, the ball was there to be won by both players. They arrive at the same time. Gerrard just nicks the ball away. Oh, and you see him twist his ankle there. Mikel catches him right on the end of the toe.
Mikel's going to be booked for that. It was only a fraction late.
Well, Chelsea played in one of the dirtiest cup finals I think there's ever been, against Leeds in the old Wembley in 1970, was it? It was even dirtier in the replay at Old Trafford.
It's the first time Chelsea ever won the cup. Liverpool only won it for the first time in 1965, although we're talking about tradition, and these clubs have certainly had a lot of FA Cup finals on their CVs, but it was a while before they got onto the Roll of Honour. The score of that crucial Liverpool winning goal in '65 is here today. Ian St John, I chat with him a couple of hours ago, and has hardly changed. With the free kick, defended by Basingwa. Drogba. Awkward for Mata, but he's blessed with a good touch, as that showed. Ashley Cole, Frank Lampard. This is Didier Drogba. Whether there's a couple now from long range, whether Chelsea feel that Pepe Reina might be vulnerable. Certainly if you hit the modern day football, cut across it, can do all sorts of tricks in your favour and not the goalkeeper's favour.
Again, he tries to get a bit of dip on it, but it's always going wide. Lampard again that played the ball to Didier Drogba, because he was going to play it into a midfielder and just reversed it round the corner.
Aga.
Doesn't really affect Chelsea, does it, this passing at the moment? Liverpool.
Suarez from Spearing. Downing. It's a telling cross. It took Terry out, and Cole had to play safe and knock it behind.
Yeah, decent bit of play. Not enough players in the box for Liverpool. It was Henderson that was trying to get. At this point, they've got nobody in the box up against 3 or 4. Ashley Cole didn't know what was behind him, had to put it away for a corner.
A corner that Craig Bellamy will take. Maybe Martin Skirtle sensing a repeat of his Carling Cup final goal. Agger scored against Chelsea in the past in the Champions League. It's Agger who goes for it. And Skirtle, this is spearing. That's a crafty ball. Chelsea were trying to push out, but they didn't get an offside. And Cech has to hammer it away with a punch as he reached. Not good distance, but it could come back from Jose Enrique, but Mikel stops that. Chelsea can't get out. They've had so many back defending the original corner.
I think it's a good bit of goalkeeping by Petr Cech. He realised he couldn't catch it. He realised he couldn't try and palm it away, so he had to get something on it. Got it far enough out the box to stop the problem.
Downing with Jose Enrique in close attendance. Clip on Downing by Basingwa, which the referee missed. Lampard, 50-50 with Spearing, which went to Liverpool's way. Here's Downing, 5 forward for Liverpool here. And Spearing makes it 6. Henderson coming in, good header down towards Suarez, who would like to have been able to take a touch or maybe have it where he could have headed directly for goal.
And he did well there, Henderson. Made his run early, came inside. Ashley Cole just went to sleep here. He's backing off Ashley Cole. Can't see Henderson. Henderson comes inside of him. All he's trying to do is head it into an area where Suarez could get onto the end of it. Certainly couldn't go for goal from that sort of distance. Well played, the right-sided midfield player, Henderson.
And Kenny, who was, of course, great Liverpool number 7.
He's also, for his size, a very good header of the ball, Kenny Dalglish. Kevin Keegan before him.
It's Kevin Keegan here today as well. It's a great gathering of the clans from Liverpool and Chelsea. Spearing, Gerrard. Mikel had to be careful. He sensed he was a bit tentative there, having been booked. Bellamy lets it run. Here's Downing. A bit more edge to Liverpool in recent minutes with their attacking play. Downing a cross that took a deflection and headed out by Terry and booted forward by Ramirez, who has contributed the 1 goal of this first half. Agger easing Mata out of the way defenders always do.
Agger was claiming that he had his heel clipped by Mata.
Downing in tandem with Jose Enrique, but Ramirez uses his pace now to defend against the player that he got away from for the goal. And the Brazilian foul by the Spaniard.
Well, he's been exceptional this season, Ramirez. His energy, his work rate, breaking forward, now breaking to get back. Well, it's not too much was wrong with what Enrique did, but Ramirez won himself a free kick for his efforts. Started the season in a central area, but it's been played out on this right-hand side in all of Chelsea's recent games.
Yes, his pace and work rate preferred to Sturridge's quality as a natural attacker.
It's amazing how things change when a new manager takes over, because Sturridge was obviously a firm favourite with Villas-Boas, played out on his right-hand side for most of the time.
It is very much Jordan Henderson out on the right-hand side for Liverpool. So as well as taking the lead, Chelsea have forced Kenny Dalglish into a tactical rethink. I just wonder whether that was in the plan anyway, after settling into a few minutes in the game.
It's important that Bellamy doesn't keep coming back for the ball. He's on the halfway line now. He should be closer to Suarez. Now Gerrard's gone a little bit closer. I'm not sure that it's a little bit off the cuff from Liverpool at times. If there's any instructions coming from the side that's making the change, or whether Steven Gerrard's dictating the change.
I think Chelsea would be glad to get to half-time. Liverpool had a decent spell. More territorial pressure than extra work for Petr Cech, who, as Stuart was saying, had to make that improvised punch. And Mikel's on the receiving end. And Agger is going to be on the receiving end of a caution here, if not for the foul, certainly for the way he's been protesting against it.
Once again, it was good play from Lampard. They tried to play the ball in between Chelsea's midfield. Lampard saw it coming, got a slide tackle, and then the ball just went between Agger and Mikel. And Agger, frustrated that the ball had been given away, followed up and was late on the challenge. It's not a good challenge, the trailing leg. I mean, Mikel tries to make the most of it by jumping up in the air. It was the trailing leg that caught Mikel.
Well, coming towards stoppage time, there's a minute of that. Stuart, your thoughts on the first half generally?
Well, I think it started off very slowly, and I thought the game needed a goal. And it came a little bit out of the blue because it was the first real attack that Chelsea had had. Liverpool haven't caused enough problems. I think they've got to play at a higher tempo. They've got to play higher up the field. They've got to get the ball forward from back to front earlier, and they've got to get closer support to Suarez, whether it be Gerrard, whether it be Bellamy, or whether it be the wide players. Otherwise, they're going to find it very difficult to break Chelsea down.
Out of the blue from the boys in blue, who still lead the closing seconds of this first period. Away by Agger. Bellamy. Suarez. A bit of fade on that towards Gerrard. Dealt with by Branislav Ivanovic. Drogba were trying to just pull in away there behind Glenn Johnson, but he did the right thing, but the ball wasn't good enough.
So he didn't realise that Skirts were dropped off.
Well, we wait to see who will come on in the second half, but the first half is completed at the new Wembley, the FA Cup final 2012, and Ramirez pounced after slack defending by Jose Enrique, and in the end not very good goalkeeping by Pepe Reina, and that is the moment of this first period. At the break, it is Chelsea 1, Liverpool 0. Ramirez the scorer. It's building its own history, the new stadium. Of course, there were FA Cup finals long before the old Wembley started, so the grounds have come and gone. The drama is constant. I've just got the feeling that this is going to really bubble into something special.
Straight away, Liverpool hitting a forward pass out to Downing. That's what Kenny Dalglish and his coaching team have said at half-time. We have to force the issue now. We have to force the tempo. We've got to play the game in Chelsea's half.
And twice, Steven Gerrard has been an FA Cup winner for Liverpool when his team have been trailing points in the game.
So Bellamy's going to play behind Suarez, start of this second half, and Henderson out on this right-hand side.
Tugging on Drogba's shirt by Skirtle, but Chelsea go on. It's threaded through to Ashley Cole by Kalou. Ashley Cole's initial response was to try and square it, hoping there was another runner in there to round it off rather than go for goal himself. Gerrard again. Johnson lets it run to Henderson, who started the second half on the right as he finished the first. Johnson trying to gain something there.
That wasn't the best decision, was it, from Glenn Johnson, trying to run through a couple of challenges.
Not the best decision either, is that a corner's been given.
Daniel Agger, Skirtle will come up for this.
Bellamy to take it, the fiery Welshman. Won't take it to his satisfaction. But the volume will certainly be turned up in the second half Both teams attacking the ends behind which their supporters are in force.
Doesn't usually last the full 90 minutes, does he, Craig Bellamy? Been an impact player for Liverpool. Return.
Never quite sure with Didier Drogba as to how much pain he is feeling.
Ashley Cole will be disappointed when he got into that forward position. Why he didn't shoot himself, because it was a great run from him. Excellent ball from Kalou. And then he tried to chop it back. It's a dangerous moment right at the start of the second half for Chelsea.
I say about strikers, don't be afraid to miss, but I think Ashley Cole, as a left-back coming forward, was a bit afraid to miss. And took a safer option, but it wasn't a fulfilling one. He's won a corner here off Johnson.
Brilliant play from Ashley Cole. Played the ball forward, outrun Henderson. Johnson eventually had to get round and get the block in. A good understanding out on this left-hand side at the moment. Cole and Kalou.
I mentioned Liverpool coming back to beat Arsenal in 2001. Of course, Ashley Cole was in that Arsenal team. So it's a corner for Chelsea. Swung in by Lampard. It's a free kick. It wouldn't have counted for Terry, who was deemed to have pushed.
Be interesting to see who fouled who here. John Terry's doing nothing wrong here. Look at Skirtle. How can that be a foul by John Terry? That's a ridiculous decision. Field out. Quite often those ones go in the defender's favour. Skirtle wasn't even watching the ball, was he?
It hasn't been good watching for Kenny Dalglish. This season, really, as Liverpool manager, is balanced on what's going to happen now, because the League Cup and probably 8th place, something like that, in the league, maybe below Everton for the first time for a long time, is not so good. To win 2 trophies, silverware is special.
And it's the FA Cup as well.
Yeah.
That's why this game, I said before the start, was such an important game for both sides.
Gerrard. They shift it and shoot here. He's going alone, and Liverpool fans, as you can hear, hollering in his support. Phil Dowd didn't blow the whistle in the support of the Liverpool skipper.
And he's quite right as well. It's a good run from Steven Gerrard, make no mistake about that. Went past Lampard, he'd overrun the ball, and then he ran into the back of the defender. Positive play from the Liverpool captain.
Agger. Here's Downey. Fancy his chances against Basingwa, can't stop the cross. Henderson coming into the far post, gets a good knock back across the face of the goal for the second time in the game. Out come Chelsea. A bit more cut and thrust. Liverpool playing with a greater tempo and forcing Chelsea to do the same. Lampard. Early cross from Mata, and Reina was uncertain and was glad that Agger dived in to intervene. Terry, a lovely touch to Mikel. Sometimes forget what a good footballer technically John Terry is.
He's got 2 good feet as well, John Terry, right and left.
Lampard, pass spearing with some ease. Drogba makes space for the shot, he does! And Drogba, yet again at Wembley. He calls it his lucky ground, but there's no luck about that. It's sheer brilliance, sheer bravado. It's Chelsea 2, Liverpool 0.
Well, I talked earlier in the game about the combination between Frank Lampard and Didier Drogba. Didier Drogba pulling off between centre-halves and full-backs. What a pass it was also from Lampard here. He goes past the first challenge. He just pulls on the shoulder of the defender, Didier Drogba, and then he hits it between the legs of Skirtle into that far corner. Not too much he can do about it. The goalkeeper, Reina. Excellent finish. Skirtle's got to get tighter. Suddenly, Liverpool are up against it.
Well, a goal even earlier in the second half than the one in the first. And Chelsea benefiting on both occasions. Ian Rush, who has done so much in FA Cup finals in Liverpool's cause. You need goal-getting of his proficiency. So Ramirez in the 11th, Drogba in the 7th minute of the second half. And Chelsea, who of course swept aside Spurs in the semi-final, are trying to do the same to Liverpool on the big day itself.
Dalglish's got to make some changes here. I think he already is. Just see Andy Carroll coming to the side of the pitch.
We're hearing that it's Jay Spearing who's going to come off. Johnson. Now Suarez. Got Bellamy by the far post. Suarez. And Czech hasn't had too much to do. He parried. Help on hand from his teammates. Chelsea looking to spring forward, as they did when they got the second goal. Ramirez. It's Ashley Cole coming in, but skirted. That's a little bit sloppy from Drogba, but he's got the ball back. And had the whistle gone against Drogba.
And he's in handball, is he? Or offside. He's looking across at the assistant referee, Phil Dowd. But here comes the substitution, and Jay Spearing is going to come off. Andy Carroll will play alongside Suarez.
Henderson making his way more into the middle again. So the lad from the Liverpool area goes off to the Geordie striker from Newcastle. Of course, went to Liverpool on the back of Torres leaving Liverpool for Chelsea. But Carroll's got on quicker than Fernando Torres.
It looks now as though they're going to play with two up front and two wide players, and already Enrique's given the ball away.
This is Ramirez.
We're going to have a very open game now. Chelsea can counter-attack, but Liverpool will need to get crosses into the box.
Singwa reading it well. Mikel. Lampard. Here's Kalou. Juan Mata. Drogba taking defenders away, allowing Mata in range of a shot, a chip as it turned out. Reina read it.
He realised that Didier Drogba would run offside, so he had to have the shot, but if he's going to shoot from that distance, he's got to go with power. Open that midfield is now.
Lampard puts it out because some attention needed for Kalou.
There's a bit of play by Frank Lampard. He goes past Spearing far too easily. The ball rolled down the side. Could Skirtle get tighter? Yes, he probably could, but it's still an excellent finish from Didier Drogba.
The first player to score in 4 different FA Cup finals. And he's won the other 3, and he's put Chelsea in a winning position, it seems. But recently, we have seen how dangerous a 2-0 lead can be. Premier League, Manchester United in that vital game against Everton were twice 2 in front, and only drew it in the end. The Champions League semi-finals for the Spanish clubs, a 2-0 lead was a dangerous advantage. Neither of them got through. How will it be for Chelsea here?
The things that Liverpool have got to now do, they've somehow got to get the ball into wide areas, to down into Bellamy, and then get crosses into the box.
from Chelsea is looking extremely happy.
Professional pride. You want to play all the games. Great being on the bench.
Chelsea thought that was handball. I think a break for Liverpool to be able to push on up the field, get a cross in, and chance to involve Carroll in the air. More dangerous now for John Terry and Branislav Ivanovic. Another chance for Johnson to feed it in towards Carroll, just in front of him. Importantly was Ivanovic.
That was a great cross into the box. I thought Carroll would beat Ivanovic in the air. If you've got a player like Carroll, the height he is, and the strength he has got, he must start winning balls in the air. That's what he's in the side to do, and that was a great opportunity, I thought, for him. He allowed Ivanovic too easy a header.
Bellamy not quite. Just turned his back on that, I think, thinking the ball might have gone to Suarez and he could have fed off a flick there. Gerrard. Headed out by Ivanovic. Henderson losing out to Drogba. Takes it back off Ramirez and uses speed again to make ground against Liverpool. Lampard, Kalou. Lampard on the outside. Kalou, see what he was trying to do. He just didn't give himself that fraction of an extra second to get his body shape absolutely right for it.
Look how quickly Chelsea counter-attacked, and once again it was Ramirez and Drogba in that midfield area. Ramirez running forward with the ball, Lampard sweeping it out to Kalou. Lampard on the overlapping run just gave Kalou that little bit of space to get his shot away. Yes, they're going to be forceful, Liverpool, but they've also got to make sure they're not counter-attack too easily.
Carroll making his run towards the front post this time. The ball sailed over him.
One thing I would say about Andy Carroll, people say he hasn't got the service. Here is the strike again from Didier Drogba. Skirtle just tries to get the block in, but it goes between his legs. He doesn't hit it with great power, but what he does, he hits it with great accuracy. And I don't think Pepe Reina was ready for it either. He wasn't expecting Drogba to hit it through Skirtle.
He's made history. But what he will want to do is make the 4 different finals 4 victories. And there's still half an hour's work ahead. And maybe longer if Liverpool can find, in their half hour of need, some penetration.
The one thing in their favour, Chelsea have had a lot of games in recent times. A little bit weary. They showed that against Newcastle in midweek, although they have had a few changes. Liverpool rested their side, most of the side against Fulham, so they should be fresher.
Downing, Suarez. Breaks for Drogba is the furthest forward for Chelsea. Got supports arriving either side. Mata to the right, Kalou to the left. And from deeper, the faithful Lampard. Drogba sails past Henderson and then caught by Suarez.
Well, I think he's a bit unfortunate here, Suarez. Didier Drogba looked as though he's going to have the ball just nicked off of him. Suarez came back and just caught his foot as he was about to shoot. He thinks he can nick the ball here. And actually, Didier Drogba kicks into Luis Suarez. Phil Dowd went down to get out of the way of the shot. He didn't want to get in the way of a Didier Drogba blast up.
One good thing about Phil Dowd's refereeing is his communication skills. He's always prepared to have a chat with players. Sometimes he'll have a rant at them, which is makes for good viewing too. He's explained his point of view. I don't think anybody could misunderstand it. We saw Chelsea wanting to shoot from long range in the first half against Pepe Reina, and Lampard does. He scored from that sort of distance in the other half against Spurs in the semi-final.
Watch again. He doesn't bend it one way. What he does, he hits right at the back of the ball and it dips and swerves halfway down. Just swerving away from goal on this occasion. It's a technique that Ronaldo uses, Pirlo in Italy uses, and Frank Lampard. Seems to work for them. Totally different technique to any other players.
Downing. Suarez. Be interesting if Liverpool get the next goal. But, Lampard there again is having a terrific game. Mata. Ramirez is enjoying himself at the expense of Jose Enrique. Switch to Ashley Cole. Kalou. Mata. Pogba's onside. An angle for only the audacious, but he comes into that category.
Once again, excellent play from Chelsea. Lampard with the crossfield ball. Mata, I think, has been excellent as well. Yeah, Drogba had to go for the strike. He's just onside. He might hit it across the goalkeeper.
Suarez. Downing continuing the run. I think Basingwa's got plenty of pace, but he's caught and he's given Carroll a chance here. Andy Carroll onto his strong side. Goal for Liverpool. They are back in it. And Carroll stepped up from the bench. He did very well, having decided not to have a swing at the ball when it first came to him.
And this is all about Liverpool passing forward, running forward. There's a good tackle. He's not offside. That's good defensive work from Downing. Then Carroll gets away from John Terry, and the only place he's going to score is by lifting it high into the net, because Cech goes down early. It's a really good finish from Andy Carroll. Gets away from John Terry. So good feet, and then he goes high into the roof of the net. Now we've got a game on.
And the Mata's offside. You could almost smell it at half-time, Stuart. It was building up. It is an advantage for the whole occasion when the teams are attacking the ends where their supporters are. And Liverpool put into, not exactly desperate stakes, but they have to change their tactics. The likes of Carroll to be involved, pressing up the field as the ball was to get across to Carroll for the goal. And remember, in 2006 they were 2-0 down to West Ham and they went home with the cup. Here's Carroll. Put wide by Henderson.
Well, they're inspired now, Liverpool. It's amazing what a goal can do. There's the ball from Suarez, chested down by Andy Carroll. He certainly made a difference to this Liverpool side. He's had a poor season. What a way to finish it if he can get Liverpool right back into this game. I'm not sure that Henderson and Andy Carroll are getting on particularly well at the moment. He's only been on 10 minutes and already about 3 or 4 arguments.
Well, that's, of course, ex-Sunderland and ex-Newcastle, so a bit of history. Kenny Dalglish chewing away at his top there. But Carroll is doing well for the man who bought him. And here is Bellamy. Skims off the top of Terry's head. Collected by Downing. Jose Enrique. Gerrard. Put it in Carroll's territory again should be the message, really. It comes out to Glenn Johnson. Asking for a corner, not getting it.
Oh, what an impact Andy Carroll has made. Not only has he scored the goal, he's started to hold up the play. He's now got these fans excited. There he held off a challenge, played it out to the wide area, got himself into the box. Something we just haven't seen from him this season. Well, certainly not enough. I think you and I did his game here.
And for Mr. and Mrs. J.W. Henry. The part of the ownership of Liverpool, of course, from the US of A. Learning as they go along about the thrills and at times the spills of this wonderful game that is a worldwide game.
Not quite so easy for Roberto Di Matteo now. Everything looks as though it was Far too easily for him at 2-0, and they were counter-attacking with pace and creating opportunities. Now he's going to maybe change one or two things.
The momentum is with Liverpool, but the lead is with Chelsea. But it's been halved by Andy Carroll. Bellamy. Suarez. Almost up to his tricks again.
If you get the ball into Suarez in the top third of the field, he will make things happen. He went past John Terry just before Andy Carroll came on, really easily. Petr had to make a save, but he's an inspired player, Suarez. When he gets players around him, when he gets the ball high up the pitch.
It's a shame for Downing this time. Challenge is an unfair one. He was making up the ground on Ivanovic.
Well, this is where players are slightly soft these days. Ivanovic, big centre-half, showed great pace to get there in the first place and then threw himself to the ground. Here's the bit of trickery from Andy Carroll. John Terry can't move his feet quickly enough. And there it is. Petr actually got a decent hand to it. It's a familiar celebration. Not so much that one.
That 2-0 dangerous lead. The 2-1 is still a lead. Roberto Di Matteo's got to galvanise his troops and maybe make a change in personnel himself.
I'm not quite sure. I think that Torres may be coming at some point. I'm not sure how he's going to fit in, because Didier Drogba's led the line really well. Surely wouldn't take Didier Drogba off. He's been a real threat, scored his goal.
Well, they just haven't worked as a pair, have they? Since they've been together at Chelsea, Torres and Drogba. Here's Jose Enrique. Shovel wide by Gerrard to Bellamy. Johnson, Gerrard. And it actually came to Carroll. If it comes back again, Chelsea could be in trouble. Carroll gets there, Gerrard to hit it. Just rushed it a little bit. He's got the technique to do much better.
I was going to say, of all the players that you'd want that ball to fall to, probably in English football, it would have been Steven Gerrard. How many times have you seen him volley from the edge of the box? In great accuracy and power. He's almost tried to help him there. But he knows they're back in the game. The momentum is with them. And Andy Carroll is winning balls in the air. Exactly why Liverpool spent so much money on him.
And it is another example of why this competition never fails to captivate, to enchant a global audience.
There's a little flick on once again. Andy Carroll winning against John Terry, just offside Luis Suarez. Talking about FA Cup finals, before we came on air, that one at Crystal Palace, Ian Wright came on against Manchester United and scored a couple of goals, didn't he? Substitutes coming on and making a big difference to games.
More recently, still a decade or so ago, Teddy Sheringham came on very early in the 1999 Cup final and scored. For Manchester United, that was.
Waste, good run from Henderson, breaking forward from midfield, because they've only got two in midfield, so it's difficult for them to break forward and support. He did it well there, Henderson, and then didn't make the most of the space that he had. There is Fernando Torres. I'm not sure he wants to be warming up that end of the field.
I don't think he's got an option, actually.
No, I know he hasn't got an option. He's not doing it with too much enthusiasm, as can be said.
Bellamy. Out on the right since Carroll came on. The supply line. And Johnson Probably shouldn't have won that. Mata sorted out by Jordan Henderson. Suarez. Still. Oh, and check. In trouble. Down by his right-hand post. Just got down there in the nick of time.
This is where he's clever. Threatens to shoot. Mikel doesn't get tight enough. Lampard goes on the wrong angle. He was trying to block off the pass. Now Suarez to get the shot in.
Quickly taken corner, has caught Chelsea napping. Caught Agger jumping, but a bit lucky to get away with that.
Well, they were, because I just watched Agger's run, and he ran into the centre of the danger area. Nobody picked him up. The cross was just that fraction too high for him. Chelsea have gone to sleep defensively. They've been rattled here. And maybe that tiredness that we talked about is starting to come into play. The crowd are trying to get behind them.
Bellamy. Level after 90 minutes, remember. Extra time, 2 periods of 15 minutes. Still level after that, penalties. Away by Ivanovic. Collected by Mata. Well, good touch from him. Helped his side stay on the ball, but Ramirez couldn't thread it back to him. And coming in, of course, was the powerhouse that is Andy Carroll.
Oh, strange position that he took up in the first place, because he was nowhere near the box. Right outside the box. Suddenly realised that the cross was going to come in. He makes up a lot of ground. He didn't fancy the header, did he?
Has done pretty much everything that you can do on the football side of Liverpool Football Club. This would be a really big triumph. Chelsea, of course, the higher placed league team. And by far the majority of recent FA Cup finals, the highest placed league team has prevailed. Downing. Ashley Cole can only deflect it away for a Liverpool throw. 15 minutes to go. Unless Liverpool can take it for extra time. And maybe even turn the whole thing around. And win it in 90 minutes. Suarez. Johnson. Carroll's up there again!
Yeah, that's brilliant from Andy Carroll. Backing away. He was never favourite to win this, but we had to back off. And then he gets round in behind Ivanovic. Gets the leap in early. Very difficult to head this one down. But he's a threat.
Chelsea have benefited so often by Didier Drogba bullying the opposition. It's Carroll who's bullying them. Roberto Di Matteo is going to bring on Raul Morales. Ex-Liverpool, of course. Liverpool right at the start of the season for Ramirez.
Sorry, Martin. A slight injury there, because his energy is the one that can make them counter-attack. It looks as though Matt is going to come out to this left-hand side. They're going to just play a 5-man midfield. Kalou's gone to the right-hand side. Mikel's going to be the holding midfield player. Morales and Lampard are going to play either side of him.
Was just dropped to the ground there, as if he might have tweaked a muscle. He took it down with his chest and hoped to hold off Henderson, but didn't.
This is when the opposition start to get annoyed with Didier Drogba. Starts to go down far too regularly. He's saying he's okay, but it just breaks up the game. Goes back to my review that you should just carry on playing and let the physio come on. Players won't go down quite so readily then.
And Fernando Torres wonders whether this might lead to his opportunity. And of course, if it is an injury, What are we, 2 weeks away today from the Champions League final? As Torres waits, Liverpool are going to make another alteration. Dirk Kuyt is going to come on for Craig Bellamy.
Substitution for Liverpool.
Kuyt is very instrumental in the Carling Cup against Cardiff as a substitute. And of course was 2-2, wasn't it?
It was. Dirk Kuyt, I've seen Liverpool play really well this season. It's when he's been almost up front. I know he's not going to be up front with Suarez, but when they've linked up together, they've got a great understanding, Suarez and Kuyt.
He's got a glimpse of Steve Clarke there, of course, as Liverpool's assistant to Kenny Dalglish, but played 400 games for Chelsea. Gerrard. Lovely work by Downing. Lost out to Kalou. The Liverpool fans are sharing your scepticism about Didier Drogba and injury.
If you pulls your groin muscle, you can't carry up, can't come back on 2 minutes later and start running around and try and hold up the plate.
Kuyt. Cross stopped by Cole. Over 89,000 here on the edge of their seats. I'm sure wherever you're watching, you're feeling the same.
The reason
is in the balance.
The reason that Kuyt might have been brought on is to get at the far post. We saw Henderson win a couple of headers, didn't we, against Ashley Cole? Kuyt is a good header of the ball. If they get crosses on from that left-hand side, Kuyt against Ashley Cole could be a problem for Chelsea.
Gerrard just glanced off him to Johnson. Calling someone back from the Chelsea substitutes. Anyway, Suarez plays on here for Liverpool. Gets it from Downing, brilliant play. Comes out to Henderson, couldn't keep it down. Certainly an inviting ball for the midfield man.
What a run from Suarez inside Kalou. Not a great cutback, but then Kalou makes a mess of it. And Jordan Henderson, finish wasn't right, and once again Andy Carroll giving him a real volley. No love lost there.
The call, I think, was directed at Fernando Torres. Kuyt, who may be leaving Liverpool in the summer after 6 years or so of very devoted service. Downing to Jose Enrique. Downing again. Gerrard with a give and go with Suarez. Out to Glenn Johnson. It's a Suarez, it must be! Is it over the line? Celebrated by Andy Cole, but no goal. It seemed as though he must score. Suarez has gone across to the assistant, Andy Garrett.
Well, my first thought is that it's a goal. That was my first view. Not at a great angle here, right on the halfway line. Looks like it's a brilliant save from Petr Cech, no matter what. What a pass it was. Just clipped into the far post. Andy Carroll gets up well. Oh. No, it's a great save. What a brilliant save from Petr Cech. Absolutely brilliant from the goalkeeper. Carroll does everything right. He puts power in it. He comes to the far post.
Suarez has been booked. Well, of course, that was the end where Juan Mata was awarded a goal for Chelsea in the semi-final when the ball clearly didn't cross the line. But it seemed to go up in a straight line from Cech onto the bar, which tells you that it couldn't have been wholly over the line. The cry for proper goal line technology will go out again, and it will be led by Andy Carroll and Liverpool. But the replays we've seen seem to suggest pretty strongly that the assistant referee was right.
And it also leads me to believe I might need my glasses.
Sometimes it's an old commentator's trick, and I am an old commentator. You look at the celebration as to see who has scored. The goal scorer, when it's clearly a goal, gives you the indication. And Andy Carroll went away with a man who believed he'd scored. But maybe that was just wishful thinking.
But Liverpool, certainly the dominant side now. What a cross it was.
This is the angle. Whole of the ball, remember.
I can't think that the ball goes all the way over the line. I think it's a good decision. Unless you're absolutely sure, you can't give it. And I think the assistant referee's made a good decision. And I think it's an absolutely brilliant save from Petr Cech.
Liverpool millimetres away from levelling it up at Wembley. But here's Suarez. Can't get there. It's in behind Ivanovic. It wasn't the worst ball. It's a goal kick, though. Chelsea defenders being worked more in the last 25 minutes or so. And they certainly were up to that point. And the arrival of Andy Carroll has triggered all that off.
There is the run up to it. Brilliant from Glenn Johnson. But what a pass from Luis Suarez. Everything about Liverpool's build-up play was really good. Perfect cross. Andy Carroll getting to the far post. He thinks he's in.
He thinks it's not.
And Dirk Kuyt wasn't far from getting the knockdown in as well. He was following up. The other players were turning and celebrating. Not quite that long.
No. The fisherman about the catch that got away. Kenny Dalglish.
Chelsea are hanging on here. They've stopped playing. It's not just that Andy Carroll's come on, because he certainly has played well. That's helped them, of course. But they've just played with a greater tempo. They've played with more urgency. They've passed the ball forward. They've had runners forward. Liverpool, they've played with more belief. It's been a really good display in the last 25 minutes from them.
Prior to that, you were seeing Liverpool of the disappointing Premier League. Now you're seeing Liverpool of the cup competitions this season. Kalou, caught but not unfairly. Chance for handball. I think Phil Dow's just pointed for the corner.
They got a free kick there. It's the same place that Carroll scored from against Everton. The corner's been given.
Carroll is lining up to make a run from the edge of the area. It's fizzed across in his direction, but it's Ivanovic who heads it away. These are long, heavy minutes on the shoulders of Chelsea. Oh, and they are not marked here. Oh, and it was Skirtle who was coming in. And when it broke free, it seemed it must go to a Liverpool player. Henderson's there. Chelsea are all over the place. Phil Dowd has given Liverpool a free kick.
Oh, the defending from Chelsea when that first ball came in was non-existent. They've gone to sleep now, Chelsea. They're just hanging on here. There's no organisation. This is the foul afterwards where Mikel, who has already been... But I don't think he does too much wrong there. He gets the ball with one foot and then he actually plays it with the second one. This is the ball forward. Look at the Chelsea back line. In the end, Ivanovic gets back and gets the block in.
Well, these are moments that are replayed and replayed year after year when the FA Cup final comes around and we delve into the visual history books. Stuart Downing in his first season as a Liverpool player. And one thing he hasn't contributed as often as he would like is goals. But it might not be his. It might be Steven Gerrard, who can never be accused of not going for goal when the opportunity presents itself. It does favour the left footer, but the right footer is Gerrard. Corner.
And if you can't score, the next best thing is get another set play, which Liverpool have got. I'm not sure the ball was 10 yards there.
Really run back for Chelsea. Might not be enough. They're defending very wearily here.
You're quite right, you can have as many players as you like in the box. If they don't attack the ball, they don't organise and mark well, have a problem.
There goes Lampard with the second header. The third was from Raul Morales. Morales trying to chase on in the manner that brought him a famous Champions League goal recently against Benfica. Skirtle, will be a corner.
Well, he's going to have to get his troops going here, John Terry. The last corner that came in, Ivanovic did really well in the air up against Andy Carroll.
Whip it in, says Agger to Downing, and whip it in he does. Terry trying to get a free kick out of it, and successfully. That thread, which is holding Chelsea's hopes aloft at the moment, is in danger of being snapped by Liverpool. Suarez.
That's what I was talking about earlier. Suarez tries to nutmeg players in those positions. Actually, Chelsea defended him well at times.
Henderson. Johnson able to line up the shot. Lampard in the way. No handball. There's a real break on if the pass is a good one for Salomon Kalou. Liverpool scurrying back and surrounding the Ivorian. Gerrard driving his team forward, driving the ball forward. Dangerous boot raised by Count. Another Roberto Di Matteo change. Florent Malouda getting some instructions from Steve Holland there. He's scored in the semi-final. Came on and got a goal in the Premier League against Queen's Park Rangers as well. Kalou getting some more instructions. He's not going off. 5 added minutes, incidentally. Juan Mata regularly substituted. Take some of the craft out of Chelsea as they go into 5 minutes. And if it's anything like the last 5 minutes, you bet Liverpool will have a chance.
They will get a chance. They get the ball in the box. I think Chelsea are struggling to defend at the moment, particularly in midfield. Even when they had that counter-attack, you looked at the way Liverpool raced back and got 5 players around Kalou, and Chelsea couldn't get in support of him.
While all this was going on with the substitution, there's a council of war in there between Terry, Ivanovic and Mikel. Mikel's going to play as close as he can to those 2 central defenders, I think, to try and put in another layer of protection. Up towards Drogba. Puff and puff. And smacked long by Reina. Carroll. Very confident. He's every right to be. Oh, he's onside, Andy Carroll, on his good left foot again. Again, it's a let-off for Chelsea. They might need more of those because it's a possession squandered once more by the team that are hanging on to this 2-1 lead. Here's Martin Skirtle. He can come forward because everyone is back for Chelsea, and Count, I don't think, has found Glenn Johnson. But the problem that Chelsea have is there's no way out for them.
Especially if Mikel is now going to play almost in between his 2 centre-halves, and that's his job. And when Pepe Reina kicked it long, Carroll brought it down on his chest, played a 1-2, and he was in again.
Skirtle. Agger. Check. Claims he's the hero. He's the one who somehow kept out Andy Carroll. Would have been 2 for the Dalglish substitute.
Malouda looks like he's going to play quite high up on this left-hand side. Nail-biting stuff for these supporters.
Long from Rayner. Carroll again making a nuisance of himself.
Could this be the making of Andy Carroll? No matter what the score is today, could this be the lift that makes him play so much better in a Liverpool shirt and justifies the money that Kenny Dalglish has spent on him?
Skirtle. There's no Chelsea player that far up the field once it dropped away from Drogba's zone to stop Liverpool coming out at pace with Jose Enrique. You mentioned the point about weariness in Chelsea, and maybe that's one of the factors. Liverpool looking very lively, but they've only got 2 minutes to take it into extra time at Wembley. Count. I really want to see this out. That'll use up some of those seconds. Competition's sponsor have named Juan Mata as the man of the match. That's why the cameras are focusing on him. A word of a compliment, I'm sure, from David Luiz. Not fit for this game, sore hamstring, desperately trying to get ready, like Gary Cahill, to be in contention for the Champions League final. Drogba. He's got a free kick here. He just got in front.
Now, see, that
Gerrard.
is what you expect from Didier Drogba as the big centre-forward. They need somebody to hold it up. He gets himself up front. It's a good kick from Petr Cech. He brings the first ball down on his chest. The next tackle that's going to come in, he gets his body in the way and produces a foul off Steven Gerrard. That is Didier Drogba, as he should be every moment of the game.
What are they going to do here, Chelsea? Do they shoot? I suppose the best thing, if you're not going to put it in the top corner, is to make sure it goes into the crowd.
And the Chelsea
fans,
crowd as well.
Yes, they won't be rushing to get it back. So Lampard has a crack, and it's had to be dealt with by Rayner, but he has got the ball. Chelsea had left 5 back against 3 up for Liverpool. Carroll. Raul Meireles can tuck it to Drogba. We're dealing in seconds here at Wembley. Drogba Mr. Wembley. Plays it forward, and Rayner, he's presented a chance here, which Chelsea couldn't take through Kalou, but Lampard quickly onto the scene. Malouda, what's in his mind? Keep the ball, and you get the cup. Lampard, heading for the corner. Phil Dav will check his watch. Raul Meireles, it's not an easy ball on for him. Drogba, who's come alive again. Malouda, suddenly a bit of order restored. Chelsea have been under the cosh for the last third of this game, certainly since Andy Carroll pulled it back to 2-1. But Chelsea win at the new Wembley yet again. The 4th FA Cup in 6 years here. Di Matteo has his double as playing winner and now managing winner. For Drogba, he scored in 4 finals. Never been done before. A 7th winners' medal for Ashley Cole. And no domestic cup double for Liverpool, despite their heroic efforts. Stuart Robson.
Well, I thought Chelsea were the dominant side for 60 minutes, and the game changed when Liverpool went and played 4 up front. They played with 2 wide players, they played with Andy Carroll next to Suarez, and suddenly they looked a different team. They pressed in midfield, they pushed Chelsea further back, and they just couldn't get that second goal. But what a last 30 minutes we had. Great football in that last 30 minutes.
Well, they couldn't have come closer to a second goal, could they? Petr Cech keeping out Andy Carroll's header right on the line, up onto the bar. Those are the margins here.
We've got to talk about, if it didn't go over the line, which I don't think it did, what a save it was from Petr Cech. Brilliant save. Rayner didn't have a good afternoon.
Well, Chelsea go to the Champions League final in 2 weeks' time with 1 piece of silverware already destined for the cabinet. Kenny Dalglish will now face more inquisitions about Liverpool's season in general. You saw for an hour how they've been in the Premier League, underachievers. In the last half an hour you saw what they've been in the Cups, but this time it wasn't to be their day. And Chelsea, who know this ground so well, they love it here. This was a hard-fought win. And as Andy Carroll, who made such a difference, but not a big enough difference for Liverpool, looks on. The final score of Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1. So Liverpool's 14th final in the FA Cup ends with their 7th defeat. And Chelsea pull level with them on that winner's roll of honour. It's a fair old climb these days, further than it was at the old Wembley. And it's one in Liverpool's position you just want to get over and done with. But they roused this final when Drogba's goal early in the second half seemed to have made it comfortable for the London club.
Jimmy Armfield handing out the medals. What a player and commentator he's been over his career. Not a bad coach either.
No, of course he took Leeds United to the European Cup final.
Don Howen as his coach at Leeds.
Jimmy Armfield came to an FA Cup final as a boy in 1948 to support his beloved Blackpool. Still lives in the town. Well, I think you can take defeat if you haven't given it, if you've given it a right go, and they did, Liverpool, in the end. But Chelsea were just too far ahead, and up they go. The man who became Lord Kinnaird did win the FA Cup as a captain 4 times, but with 2 different organisations. John Terry's going to be the first man to lift it with the same club. He is. I've called him it a couple of times. I make no apology for reaching back for the expression again, Mr. Chelsea.
He certainly is. The Chelsea fans love him. They can forgive him for anything that he does. And he actually defended well. He was the one player with Ivanovic when balls came into the box. They did make sure they won balls in the air. He was beaten a couple of times. He was beaten for the goal by Andy Carroll. He was beaten by Suarez down the outside once. He hasn't got great athleticism, but he makes up for it in determination and reading of the game.
Just that little pause, a little word with Frank Lampard, maybe to involve him in any presentation ritual, any plan that they've got up their sleeves. Some have been writing them off. What a dangerous thing that's proved to be. They may be in their 30s now, Terry, Lampard, Drogba, but goodness me, still a part to play, still the Champions League final to come. But today, all about this wonderful, easily recognisable trophy. Jimmy Armfield waiting for the moment. Blue is the colour in this season's FA Cup, and very much Chelsea is the name. It's a familiar sight. A second home, the new Wembley. They might be leaving their famous home, Stamford Bridge. Talk today about a new development at the Battersea Power Station. Well, they've had enough power. Di Matteo's Chelsea today. And it's very recent innovation that the manager himself goes up to be involved in these great moments at the top of the steps.
So they should do as well. Played a massive part in Chelsea's second half to the season. Roberto Di Matteo.
Ron Gourlay there, David Barnard, Michael Emenalo. Well, if the wasn't so much the second half, but the last third of the game wasn't so good. The last third of this season could be historic for Chelsea.
Well, now they've got the chance to do a cup double. Champions League coming up. This is the one that matters at the moment. Fantastic first 60 minutes from them. With Juan Mata playing off of Didier Drogba. Lampard defending well in midfield. All organised by this man here now.
Yes, interim is the word to describe his position. Permanent might not be that far away. Roberto Di Matteo. It was Ancelotti in 2010, it was Mancini in 2011, an Italian hat-trick for Roberto Di Matteo to be part of. He always keeps his cool, he always did when he was playing. Very self-contained individual. This lot won't be so self-contained, will they? They're about to let rip, and why not?
Maybe here's the man that won them the FA Cup or kept them in the lead. Didier Drogba with the goal, Petr Cech with the save.
And these are the moments that the players are always told, don't let them rush by, make it now the slowest walk you've ever done around the stadium. And there aren't many left for Liverpool, but all credit to them. Hard enough to get a cup final ticket, you might as well stay to see it all through, even if it's as painful as this when you're following the vanquished. Careful with that hamstring, David Luiz. There he is, cool as you like.
Well, he'll be savouring this moment, won't he?
He's making the slow walk.
Standing next to Torres, who didn't look too happy while he was on the substitute bench, did he?
Well, we've had periods of domination from clubs like Liverpool. Manchester United still could win the Premier League this season. We'll learn more about that tomorrow. But if you're looking for the famed name in the FA Cup since the turn of the century, the last winners at the old Wembley, and now in 6 years at the new Wembley, Chelsea have held it up 4 times.
Well, I think Roberto Di Matteo had his heart in his mouth for the last 20 minutes because they were being dominated by Liverpool, but they just had enough, that 2-goal lead. And I think they deserved the 2-goal lead, but Liverpool in that last 25-30 minutes really gave them a scare.
By the strength in the hands of Petr Cech. That's how close it was. The man who first wore that skull cap in a game against Liverpool at Anfield over 5 years ago after that potentially devastating head injury.
Portuguese players getting their own little bit of the limelight. Relish came on late on in the game, hardly touched the ball, did he? But Singwa didn't really give Downing too much